play to decide the American League pennant tonight. The Blue Jays and Mariners play Game 7 of the ALCS in Toronto. George Kirby will go to the mound for the Mariners while Shane Bieber starts for the Blue Jays. You can hear tonight's Game 7 on ESPN Radio. Our coverage gets underway at 7:30 Eastern. The World Series will then get underway on Friday. To football on the Monday night doubleheader. First up, the Lions and the Buccaneers. Detroit coach Dan Campbell has asked if the suspension of Brian Branch from last week will motivate his team.
Doc said he was.
Well, that's what our guys are about, man. You know, we overcome adversity, and listen, that's their brother, man. And if you're going to attack their brother, that's what they're going to do.
That game will be on ESPN and ABC tonight at 10 Eastern on ESPN. The Seahawks will host the Titans. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young suffered a high ankle sprain against the Jets yesterday. He is likely out for Sunday's game against the Bills. Saints center Eric McCoy and running back Keandre Miller are both out for the season for New Orleans after being injured yesterday against the Bears. Chiefs rookie defensive tackle Omar Norman-Lott suffered a torn ACL against the Raiders. He's out for the season.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up on Tuesday, the Eagles and the Chiefs had huge wins this weekend, but did either one do enough to be number one on my power rankings? It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Taylor Sharp. Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there. Make it a good one. Tigers lose. Saints lose. Everybody's hurt. Today sucks. Let's get after it. Hit it, Muse.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
Well, let's go ahead and play the final call from Saturday. Hit that, if you would. It's historic. I hit it. Here we go.
Final seconds roll off the clock. Horn sounds, and this one is in the books. Vanderbilt, with the victory today, they move to 6-1 on the season, 2-1 in SEC play for LSU. They fall to 5-2 on the season, and now at 500 at 2-2 in SEC action. All over with.
Yeah,
Here in
we're good. Thank you. Yeah, I don't need to hear any more from Chris Blair. We're good. Thank you. Historic, because for the first time in 35 years, LSU loses to Vanderbilt. So remember it. I mean, something happens. That's Muse. That's for Muse and Taylor, first time in your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Historic. An historic call. LSU lost to Vanderbilt. Clearly a disappointing result. LSU losing 31-24, but it serves as a reminder. The floor, not only in the SEC, but in all of college football, the floor has been elevated and the ceiling has been lowered. And there are just no dominant teams. This resembles the NFL, where on any day, somebody can get got. And LSU got on Saturday morning in Nashville. There's two things that I want to talk about. One, of course, is the game and how it all played out. And two is sort of the bigger picture for this season and beyond. So we'll do that here as we start. Going into the game all week, Brian Kelly and his staff emphasized the need to maximize opportunities. I was on the field pregame, and I was talking to Austin Thomas, LSU's GM, and he told me Vanderbilt's opponents average 9 possessions a game. On the season, LSU averages just under 12 possessions a game. So LSU knew going in, they were going to have to maximize their opportunities because the way Vanderbilt played, there were going to be fewer opportunities. And lo and behold, it played out that way. LSU had 8 possessions in the ballgame. And LSU did maximize their possessions. They scored on 5 of the first 6 possessions in the game. For the first time all year, LSU got points on its first possession. In the previous 6 games, LSU's opening possessions, 5 punts and an interception. The interception was the tip drill against Louisiana Tech. So you get points on your first possession. You score 5 of your first 6. The problem is 3 of those 5 were field goals. And the one where you didn't get points was a missed field goal. And it's just an illustration of what has been LSU's biggest problem this year, and it's the inability to finish drives. It's not moving the football. It's the inability to finish drives. Opening possession, you get all the way down to their 28-yard line, sack, Xavier Thomas drop, 3rd and 13, you blow a timeout, incomplete pass, 48-yard field goal. You get a touchdown on your second drive. On your third drive, this was the missed field goal. You get down to the Vanderbilt 37. You're moving. You got 2nd and 4. Illegal formation on DJ Chester lining up in the backfield. By the way, the play was a pass Travis Green that went for a first down. So instead of first down around their 20, now it's 2nd and 9. Harlem Berry for a yard, 3rd and 8 incomplete. You miss a 52-yard field goal. Again, you don't maximize your opportunities because you can't finish. Your next possession, all the way down to the Vanderbilt 23-yard line. Caden Durham, first down, 2-yard loss. 2nd and 12 incomplete, 3rd and 12 incomplete, 42-yard field goal. You want me to keep going? First possession of the second half was Xavier Thomas' incredible 62-yard effort. Your next possession, Caden Durham rips off a 51-yard run. You're all the way down the 1-yard line. And then what happens? You burn a timeout because Barry and Brown's jawing with a defensive back, and so Cortez Hankton wants to take him out of the game. They run Chris Hilton on. 2 receivers run off. Now you got 10 men on the field. So Garrett Nussmeier has to burn a timeout. You burn a timeout. You go out there coming out of a timeout, and Donovan Green false starts on a beautiful play design where you score a touchdown, and it would have been a 3-point game with 12 minutes to go. You would have been in a 3-point game with 12 minutes to go. Instead, false start, you end up settling for a short field goal. It's a 7-point game, and you never got any closer. Oh, by the way, also, after that, later, you had a 3rd and 16, and it looked like you were going to convert on a beautiful 21-yard run by Juwan Johnson, but there was holding on Weston Davis, which led to a 3rd and 26. Draw, punt, ball game over. You all know the score from there. They just can't finish. They are so mistake-prone, and sometimes it's brutal penalties. Sometimes it's drops. By the way, on the last possession LSU had, 4:40 to go, Xavier Thomas gets dropped for a 3-yard loss. Then you get a 5-yard reception. On 3rd and 8, Barry and Brown drop, punt. You had opportunities. You get guys open. You have lanes to run. You hit big plays. They're negated by penalty. You get to the 1-yard line and you can't finish. They just can't finish drives. It's what killed them against Ole Miss. 2 possessions in the second half that started in Ole Miss territory, ended in field goals. Against South Carolina, fumble at the 1, interception at the 1. I mean, it's a 7-game sample. It's what you are. You don't finish drives. You move the ball. You have talent. You can't finish drives. And your offensive line gets your quarterback killed all the time. Brian Kelly said they wanted to win 1st and 2nd down on defense to avoid 3rd and short. Vanderbilt 2nd in the country in 3rd down conversions at nearly 60%. In this game, Vanderbilt was 6 of 13. That's 46%, so you did okay there. But you allowed them to convert 3rd and 4, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6. They also had a 3rd and 2, and then they converted a 3rd down and goal with a touchdown. And then Clark Lee was really aggressive. They went forward 3 times on 4th down, converting 2 of them. 1 was a touchdown, and the dagger was in the second half when it was a 3-point game, 24-21. Vanderbilt gets the ball. They're in their territory again, and it's 4th and 1. They're right around midfield, 4th and 1. They decide to go for it. And they get a 10-yard play. They would end up scoring on Pavia's 21-yard touchdown. By the way, even after the 4th and 1, it looked like you were getting it off the field. But then Deshaun Spears' pass interference gave them a first down at your 32, and 3 plays later, Pavia was in the end zone for their final score. You even shut them out in the 4th quarter. You had opportunities if you could have put drives together and finished drives, but you didn't. Look, I'm not blind to the fact that you were down Whit Weeks, Bernard Gooden, Jamari Butler. You lose Tyree Adams during the game. I mean, one of the real strengths of this team was supposed to be the defensive front and the depth you had. You know, your too deep at end was out with Butler and Relaford. Your best defensive tackle, Gooden, was out. Arguably your best defensive player, Whit Weeks, was out. I'm not going to minimize their absences. That's a lot to lose. And the defense gave up 240 rushing yards. Would it have made a difference if those guys were out there? Hard to say it wouldn't. I mean, everybody has starters and backups for a reason, but your depth was really challenged. I mean, you're seeing guys like C.J. Jackson out there running around for the first time trying to make plays on the road against a ranked team. Tough to do. I'm not criticizing those young guys. Just a tough ask. I mean, there was some positives. Tradez continues to emerge. Harlem Berry for the first time. We got to see really get some action. 5 yards a carry, 11 carries, 55 yards. That was encouraging to see. Good vision lanes. I can't help but look back to Ole Miss and say, you know, without Caden Durham, what if they had actually given Harlem Berry 15 carries to see if you might have been able to establish the run? Could that game have been different? They didn't. Hindsight now, 2020, we'll have to look and wonder. But it was encouraging to see some of those young guys continue to emerge offensively. But you lose 31-24. You're 5-2. You're a 2-loss team in the conference. No team has won the SEC with 2 conference losses since LSU back in 2007. So improbable to think that you're going to go on some type of a run, especially with a sample size of 7 games. It illustrates what you are and what your shortcomings are that you just can't overcome. You have a leaky offensive line. You get Garrett Nussmeier killed. The defense is on the field too long. It's a shame because you have a lot of talent on this team and you have a lot of the pieces there to be really good. They just haven't been able to put it together consistently enough throughout the course of the season. And as we talked about, the ceiling is lowered. The floor is raised. There are no doormats anymore. And that's kind of the other part of this conversation, which is the big picture. You know, it's hard to predict LSU to run the table. I mean, it's laughable to think that they will. Mathematically, you got to get to 10-2, right? A year ago showed us you got to get to 10-2 to be a playoff team at large, which means LSU would have to run the table. Again, it would be totally disingenuous of me to sit here and tell you they have a shot to do that. They don't. The offensive line is bad. Nussmeier's getting killed. The defense is injured and giving up way too many yards. They don't finish. It's all the things. The flip side of it is, I would tell you LSU is capable of beating anyone left on their schedule. I'm not telling you they're going to win out or they're going to beat. I'm just saying they are capable of beating anybody else on their schedule. Like, did you look at the point spread for Texas A&M? Like, I thought that line would probably open up A&M 6. It's 1.5. The odds makers basically think it's coin flip Saturday in Tiger Stadium. Why? Did you watch A&M this past weekend? They gave up 42 points at Arkansas. They held on 45-42. Like, nobody's dominant. Texas has their way with Oklahoma, goes on the road to Kentucky, who is the worst team in the league, and they need overtime to beat Kentucky. Indiana won by double digits at Oregon. Last week, 7 ranked teams lost. This week, numbers 2, 5, 7, and 10 all lost. Miami lost to unranked Louisville. You had 4 teams in the top 10 lose this week. Like, everybody's vulnerable. Even in the G5. Memphis, who was in line to be the G5 rep, they lost this week to an unranked team. UAB, with an interim coach. Alex Mortensen, coaching his first game, beats Memphis. So, I understand all of the unrest with LSU fans, and you are right to be upset. And my hand's in the air. I picked this team to win the SEC. I looked at all they added defensively, all they spent, all in behind a fifth-year senior quarterback, and I wrongly assumed that the issues on the offensive line could be patchworked with a couple of transfers and some really talented young guys getting a chance to start for the first time. Dead wrong. Offensive line has been awful this year. And whoever you want to blame Brian Kelly, you want to blame Austin Thomas, you want to blame Joe Sloan, you want to blame Brad Davis, blame them all. Because everybody is culpable to some degree. If it's the identifying talent, missing the inability to develop the talent, calling plays to utilize your talent properly or try to mask some of your deficiencies, all of it. Everybody's culpable to some degree. So blame who you want to blame today. I'm not sitting here telling you don't point fingers and lay blame wherever you want. But it is massively disappointing for a season. Someone rightly pointed out this weekend that I said over the summer, if LSU went 8-4, it would be a cataclysmic failure, and I believe that. This season ends 8-4 or 7-5, which it could. That is a cataclysmic failure, considering all you have invested in this team to make a playoff run. And listen, you got 5 games to go. Let the dust fall. Let the dust settle wherever it does at the end of the season, and you'll make certain decisions about what happens. But the way you're trending right now, it is almost impossible to imagine there not being some type of change within this football program. I'm not talking about Brian Kelly. He ain't going anywhere. The only way Brian Kelly's going anywhere is if he decides he's going somewhere. They ain't firing him. So park that conversation. That ain't happening. But everything else would have to be on the table when you have a result like this. I get it. You've lost 2 road conference games against ranked teams. That's not an unforgivable sin. But it's the manner in which it has played out through 7 games that feels inexcusable. All right, it's after further review. Show Open Every Day is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. Drank me a few Bud Lights this weekend, I'll tell you that much. Literally sitting in the hotel room in Nashville. Halftime, I went down to the bars. Like, give me 4 Bud Lights. Brought it back to the room. Watched the second half and took a little bit of the edge off. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of the LSU Tigers. All right, y'all. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com, title sponsor for our Monday shows all throughout the year. Let me knock out a quick break from bad to worse. The Saints are 1-6. Let's talk about how much they stink in losing 2 starters for the rest of the season. It's AFR.
After further review.
We're brought to you by Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com. That's yourgoodwood.com. Hey, a lot of you are already on hormone replacement therapy. So a lot of you guys, I'm talking to, you know who I'm talking to. If you're like me and you're on HRT or have been for some time, I want to give you a couple of reasons why you should consider switching from wherever you currently are to Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Number one, their lengthy menu of services, and they're great to deal with, obviously. They can ship your medicine to your door, lowest prices, never any contracts, all that stuff. But number two, every 6 months or so when you get your blood labs done, at other places, you pay for out of pocket for those blood labs. At Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, they pick up that cost. Another reason to switch. Give them a shout today. Yourgoodwood.com. Check them out online. Again, yourgoodwood.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here. We eat out here. We watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
So the Saints lose to the Bears, and I guess this is just adding insult to injury. Quite literally, the Saints lose both Kendre Miller and Eric McCoy for the season. The insult would be Ben Johnson giving Dennis Allen the game ball after the Bears pounded the Saints into oblivion. Cool. I promise that's a thing that happened IRL, but apparently the audio doesn't want to work. Just trust me, it happened. Ben Johnson gave Dennis Allen the game ball. I've said about this Saints team all throughout the offseason, so far through the year, that I'm not going to sit here on Mondays or in post games and rant about wins and losses because I'm not expecting that to go well for New Orleans. From every objective or subjective metric that we've looked at all throughout the offseason, this was a team that was among the least talented rosters in the NFL. Rookie head coach. You don't have a quarterback coming into the year. You didn't have a quarterback on the roster that had won an NFL start. Anyone who was anticipating this being anything more than a bottom-feeding season, you were just kidding yourself all along. This isn't an I told you so, but I told you so. We talked, and look, I'm not unique to this. We all talked about it all offseason. You just chose to believe it or not believe it. This is what this season was always going to be. So I'm not mad that they lost again. I'm mad that you have an incompetent general manager that built a trash pile of a roster that can't win football games or be competitive. I'm mad about that. I'm mad about the inability to manage the salary cap, wasting multiple drafts, investing first-round picks consistently in the line of scrimmage and missing consistently on Cesar Ruiz and Trevor Penning and Brian Brzee. I mean, just look, you got first-round picks everywhere. They just aren't any good. You're not good. So anyway, I'm not mad that they lost, but there's things that I want to see as you move throughout the season. And what this kind of is starting to feel like is whack-a-mole. You know, you go to the arcade and there's whack-a-mole. It's like you hit one mold and another mold pops up on another one. It's like you're constantly chasing problems. Or, you know, if you want another analogy, it's like if you spring a leak, you put your finger in the dike and then another one pops up. Like that's what this Saints season is turning into. One of the issues they've had, real issues for the last 4 weeks, it's almost unfathomable to say this out loud, but for 4 straight weeks, you have allowed your opponents to score a touchdown on each of their first 2 drives. This is the National Football League. You're professional football players, and for 4 straight weeks, not a one-off, 4 straight weeks, you allowed your opponent to score on each of their first touchdowns on each of their first 2 possessions. So one of the big, rallying cries was start fast defensively. And I'll be damned, they did. They went out there and forced a 3 and out. Chase Young almost had an interception, batted a ball right in the air. I mean, it was kind of hit him right in the face mask, almost intercepted it. Anyway, 3 and out, they punt. And what do you do on your second play? Your first-round pick-laden offensive line gets Spencer Rattler pressured, and your quarterback, who's probably a career backup in training, fumbles, and they get the ball after 2 plays. Boom. Now your defense came up with a stop, so 3-0, and then Quincy Riley comes up with a pick. That's encouraging, right? One of your young draft picks, hoping he might emerge into a starting quarterback. Really nice play down the sideline. And the offense stalls, and so you send who out there but Poopy Groupie, who misses another one, because that's all Blake Groupie does is miss field goals. 70% Blake Groupie is on the season. 7 games. Saints are 1-6. Blake Groupie is 70% on the season. He misses one every week. He is awful. Like, don't tell me anymore about how good Blake Groupie was in training camp. I'm not interested in a conversation about how good you were at practice. That's like saying, hey, man, you should see this guy out there on the driving range. He hits the crap out of the ball. Neat. And then he goes and stands over a 4-foot putt at the Masters and misses because he chokes. That's Blake Groupie. The fact that Blake Groupie is still employed is high comedy and a further illustration of how incompetent this organization is. This is the National Football League. Jobs are not guaranteed. You are always looking to improve. We made a joke of how quick Sean Payton was to hit the escape hatch on kickers, and I don't know, the guy who you cut that Sean Payton signed just hit a walk-off winner for Denver yesterday to cap off an improbable comeback. I mean, whatever. You know, you go through this game, and it's just so much of the same. You know, you get bailed out on a roughing on a 3rd and 28, then Spencer Rattler throws a pick. You think you're going to be cute putting Taysom Hill in there against Dennis Allen like he didn't know it was coming, gets thrown for a loss. I mean, you're down 20-0 in a blink. And then, you know, you decide to get a little brave and go for it on a 4th and 1. Alvin Kamara gets stuffed with 1:38 to go in the half. And I'll be damned. You actually showed a little life. You force a 3-and-out. You get the ball back. You throw a 57-yarder to Olave, and he would score. And then you get the ball to start the second half, despite the fact that you were holding on the kickoff return because you're bad at everything in special teams. You end up scoring another touchdown to make it 20-14, and then you wouldn't score again. I had some people come at me with the whole, hey, Chris Olave must have heard you last week, dogging on him. Great. Need I remind you that Chris Olave was a first-round draft pick that Sunday, amid his 4th NFL season, finally had a 2-touchdown game. You know that movie, Little Big League? I love that movie. Where the little kid gets to manage the Minnesota Twins. Nepotism at its worst. But, you know, the grandpa owned the team, and then the grandpa dies, and he leaves the team to his 12-year-old grandson, and then he names himself manager. There's a scene where, like, there's this great player, like their all-time great hitter, and he's just at the end of his career, and he's done. But Billy, the kid, he doesn't want to cut him because he's his favorite player. And the guy gets like a C&I single, and he tells the old surly bench coach, see, I told you he could still do it. And the old surly bench coach goes, hey, if you're that excited about a C&I single, isn't that kind of a problem? Doesn't that tell you the story? Same thing about Olave. You're that excited about a 2-touchdown game? Like, Kayshon Boutte was an undrafted free agent who's out there catching balls left and right, scoring all over. Greatest value add in the NFL right now. 4-year, $4 million deal for Kayshon Boutte. Saints just picked up Chris Olave's 5th-year option. They're working on a contract extension. This dude can't make a contested catch, and finally in year 4 has a multi-touchdown game. Don't come to me with anything on Chris Olave. He stinks. Trade him. Or pay him like a number 3, because that's all he'll ever be in the NFL. He's not a 1, never will be. Really taking it easy on Spencer Rattler, because I think Rattler's been efficient. He has been efficient. Up until yesterday, he had 1 interception on the season. And, you know, I think that's kind of what you needed was a guy to play within himself. Not make mistakes, give yourself a chance, and by and large, he had done that. And then on Sunday, he turns the ball over 4 times. The fumble that we talked about, 3 interceptions, poor decisions, and those are the types of things for any NFL team when you turn the ball over 4 times, they're going to get you beat, especially when you're one of the worst rosters in the NFL, like the New Orleans Saints are. So I think you're getting close here to making a decision about when we're going to see Tyler Shuck. You can't justify continuing to run Spencer Rattler out there. And again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying the reason the Saints are 1-6 is at the feet of Spencer Rattler. They've had opportunities. Look, if Juwan Johnson catches a contested ball at the goal line week 1, you beat Arizona. I mean, you've had opportunities. Now, you're terrible on the road, but you've had opportunities in all of your home games. But it's also clear that Rattler isn't getting you over the hump. He is not elevating you. And then he hurt you on Sunday with 4 turnovers. But ultimately, your bye week is coming in week 11. And your season is not going to get any better. You play Tampa this week, you're going to lose at home, and then you got to go to the Rams and to Carolina. You're probably going to be 1-9 going into your bye. So if you're 1-9 going into your bye, that's when you have to give Tyler Shuck a shot. Because you're going to have an opportunity potentially at the number 1 overall pick. You're going to be right there with, if it's Miami, if it's Cleveland, whoever it Jets, whoever it's going to be, you're going to be in that mix for the first overall pick. And you're going to have an opportunity to draft whoever is the best quarterback in this draft. And you have to know when April rolls around if you're committed to Rattler or Shuck. And so eventually you're going to have to give Tyler Shuck a shot to see if there's anything there you feel like you can build around and make him a franchise quarterback. And then in that case, you got a top 5 pick. You're picking the best receiver. God help them if they pick another offensive lineman. You're picking the best receiver, a number 1 lockdown corner, whatever it may be, an elite edge rusher, something like that. That's going to help you be better somewhere else on the field. But you're getting to that point. And Sunday was validation of that. It was a bad day for Spencer Rattler. It was a bad day for the whole team. And it was even exacerbated by the fact that you lose both Kendre Miller and Eric McCoy for the remainder of the season. By the way, Mike Detilier's old betting line, 80% of the time a team loses its starting center, they fail to cover. I bet on the Bucs. I will be betting on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to cover Sunday in the Dome. But a disappointing day because some of the progress that you had hoped to see just wasn't there. And you just haven't seen that consistent growth here as you approach the midway point of this season. And it's hard to imagine that there are better days ahead this season for these New Orleans Saints. They're not close to being good. They're not going to be close to being good this year. And eventually, we've got to see what Tyler Shuck has, because as you start to plan toward next year and beyond, you got to know if you have anything at quarterback with either of these guys. You got enough of a sample size of Spencer Rattler now to know what he is. Does some nice things. Probably never going to be more than a backup in the NFL. Let's see what you have with Tyler Shuck. It's about that time. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 10 locations all over. You got Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Lafayette, Shreveport, even Texas and Mississippi. You can find the location nearest you at lmfj.com, lmfj.com. We're inching closer to the holiday season, gents. A lot of you like to propose around Christmas. Great opportunity to get by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry and see their amazing selection of beautiful diamond engagement rings. You can always start online at lmfj.com. No matter your budget, you're always going to get that Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Just got a text from Peter Burns. He's got to bow out today. No worries. We have plenty to talk about. So we'll miss Peter, but we will get into more about the SEC weekend, Billy Napier being fired, who's next at Florida, what does it mean for Lane Kiffin, all that stuff as well. Stay with us here on AFR.
AFR.
Let's rev. If you own a business or for your own home and you want lightning fast internet, you want Rev. Let'sRev.com. Let's Rev, R-E-V, Let'sRev.com. An all-fiber network, and they are all about the service. 90 years locally owned and operated. I'm going to tell you, a week ago today, it was last Monday, I was pulling out of my driveway, and there was crews digging up my front yard. And normally I'd be super ticked about that, except that it was Rev crews putting down fiber in my neighborhood, and I could not be more fired up to have an all-fiber, lightning-fast network courtesy of Rev in my neighborhood for your home, for your business. You need it as well. Get a great deal, low prices, and lightning-fast internet speed from a local company with local service. It's Rev. So go to letsrev.com, letsrev.com, letsrev.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home, with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
A lot of it has to do with playing down to the level of competition. I mean, you saw it this year. Everybody knew that run was going to be a difficult stretch between LSU and Miami and Texas A&M. But when you drop a home game to USF, that completely took away your credibility and your margin for error during that four-game stretch. So, I think the losses are hard to swallow. The manner in which they've lost is hard to swallow, particularly with the talent. This is the most talent that he's had on his roster since he's come to Gainesville.
That is former Gators receiver Chris Doering, now, of course, of the SEC Network, on why Florida ultimately moved on from Billy Napier. The writing was on the wall. It was an inevitability. The boosters went to Scott Strickland and said, hey, man, make a change or we're not giving you any more money. So at that point, your hands are tied. Some people made a big deal of the fact that it was after a win. I'll remind you, Ed Ogeron got fired after a win. LSU beat Florida. That was the day where Ty Davis-Price set the single-game rushing record, ran for over 300 yards. The next day, they fired Ed Ogeron. He coached out the remainder of the season, you'll recall. But I don't really care. It was more that it was going into the bye. It was the right time to do it. The other interesting thing is that Jabbar Jalouk, who's the associate head coach, was supposed to be the interim. They instead named Billy Gonzalez the interim because, Jabbar Jalouk slapped the hell out of an LSU player in the face on the field before a game. Scott Strickland, a gutless coward for not firing Jabbar Jalouk on the field at that moment for striking a player. Still one of the most egregious, unforgivable things that I can imagine. Like, how in the hell an adult human who is paid as an overseer, caretaker, a coach, an influencer of young people, strikes in the face a player on the field pregame with cameras rolling, and that man still has a job is unforgivable. I know some of y'all New Orleans people who love Jabbar, the whole New Orleans high school coach fraternity, y'all get pissed at me for saying that. I don't care. Right is right, is wrong is wrong. That dude should have had his ass fired in that moment, and it cost him an opportunity now because he would have been the interim head coach. Hopefully his ass is out with Billy Napier as well when the season's over. In any event, you're looking at who's next at Florida. Odds from sportsbetting.ag. Lane Kiffin is the betting favorite to replace Billy Napier, followed by Jeff Brom from Louisville. James Franklin has the third best odds, followed by Eli Drinkwitz, Marcus Freeman, Urban Meyer. Jed Fish is at plus 1,000. If you're looking for an off-the-radar name, that could be it because, remember, Fish is a Florida alum. He's the coach right now at Washington. Went from Arizona to Washington. And look, we just saw, obviously, Kalen DeBorgo from Washington to Alabama, so West Coast into the SEC, not that uncommon. Alex Golish from South Florida, Brent Key of Georgia Tech, Kenny Dillingham, Rhett Lashley, John Gruden. That's the list right now on the betting odds to replace Billy Napier there. But Lane Kiffin as the betting favorite is the most interesting one. And Scott Strickland, the athletic director at Florida, did acknowledge on the record to John Talty that they've already started making inquiries about Lane Kiffin. So what would it take to get Lane out of Oxford? That's going to be a fascinating story to follow here in the coming days and weeks as we move throughout the remainder. And similarly, Ole Miss's athletic director said on the record they've already engaged in conversations about an extension that would keep Lane in Oxford. So they're going to have to fight off the Sharks that are coming for him. Does Lane Kiffin – money won't be an object. I mean, he's going to make a lot of money no matter where he goes. It's a matter of, does he feel like he can win a national championship at Ole Miss? And if he does, I think he'll stay. And if not, I think he'll leave. I think it's that simple. We'll find out. All right, it's AFR. We're brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com, with locations all over South Louisiana. Remember, at Shaw Bills, they sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. So if you need tires, you want to get them where they're the cheapest, so you go to Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service. Right now, by the way, through the end of the month, through October 31st, got a great deal going on right now over at Shaw Bills, where they're going to combine the manufacturer's offer with the in-house offer. And with that, they're going to save you over $200 on new Michelin tires. You could learn more right now at Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com, ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, bringing you the biggest news from the nation's best conference, the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Shane Beamer was asked Sunday about being a candidate for Virginia Tech's coaching vacancy, saying his, quote, dream job is the one he has with South Carolina. Spoke to the Carolina team, and the media report suggested that he could return to Virginia Tech. Wouldn't be a bad time right now with Beamer's 48 years old in the South Carolina season not going according to plan.
The Auburn Tigers.
Starting center and projected first-round pick Connor Liu left the Missouri game with an injury. Turns out he suffered a torn ACL, and he will miss the remainder of the 2025 season. Injury happened on the first drive of the second half. He actually suffered a sprained MCL earlier this season. Became a starter during his true freshman season. Started all 12 games a year ago, and had started all 6 so far this year.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
Wide receiver Colby Young got banged up on that flea flicker, hobbled off against Ole Miss this weekend, hobbled off the field. Kirby Smart provided an update, says he had a leg fracture and that this would be a long-term injury, so not good. Zachariah Branch led Georgia with a game-high 8 catches for 71 yards in Young's absence.
The Texas Longhorns.
Steve Sarkisian says he's not giving up play-calling duties. Quote, no, because that's why I got hired. Texas beat Kentucky, needed overtime to squeak past them 16-13. Texas improved to 5-2 on the season, even though the offense stinks.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And Bama flipped 2026 edge Corey Howard from Georgia, ranked number 700 overall, the 74th edge. If I was in a better mood, I'd do a Bama burning about this right now. I mean, you're flipping the 700th overall player, but whatever. 6'6", 260, been committed to Georgia since the summer. He's the 23rd commit for Kalen DeBoer this cycle. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door, siding. Oh, yeah, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, quick break. We'll wrap up hour number one when we come back. I know Peter Burns, so actually what I'll probably do is circle back to the Florida conversation. Who's next there in Gainesville coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Watermark and the Renaissance. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown there on Bluebonnet. Remember, this Friday, the LSU football team will be at Renaissance Baton Rouge. That's because every Friday of home football games, the LSU football program moves into Renaissance Baton Rouge. It basically becomes de facto LSU football operations. They want to get away from campus, naturally, as you might imagine. So they go over to Renaissance Baton Rouge, the big grand ballroom that can hold as many as 500 people. That's where they have team meals and team meetings and prayer services. They have smaller breakout rooms where they can have the individual player position group meetings. And, of course, there's plenty of rooms to host all the players and sports staff and everybody there at Renaissance Baton Rouge. It's right there on Bluebonnet, conveniently located near I-10. Perfect for any event. Whatever event that you're hosting, you need to check out our friends at Renaissance Baton Rouge. Right there on Bluebonnet, it's Renaissance Baton Rouge.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. I'm glad to have you hanging out with us here on a Monday edition of AFR. Not a great day, man. Vibes are low. LSU loses to Vandy. The Saints fall to 1-6. If you missed it, Kendre Miller and Eric McCoy, reports are both done for the season. Miller, a torn ACL. Eric McCoy, a torn bicep. So vibes impossibly low on this Monday here as we're in late October. Usually on Thursday we do what to watch and then come back on Monday and do what we learned. But that would have been Musso, Paul, and Jordan. And Paul and Jordan aren't here. So, Musso, did you learn anything?
I learned plenty. I remember
what were your 3?
Well, one of mine was the Napier thing. Remember, because I jumped the shark on it on Monday with takeaways.
Yeah.
So I did circle back to it. And the timing of that made a lot of sense. That's really why I hopped on it Monday. I mean, going into the bye week, big game ahead with Georgia, it just wasn't really going to get better. Another one was Sunday Night Football, and it had to do with just a classic letdown spot for the Falcons. And Michael Penix saying, the win against the Bills shows we're here to stay. Well, all right, man. Well, you're going on the road, short week, across the country to San Francisco. It's pretty darn good, even with all their injuries. And, I think that bore itself out on Sunday night. San Francisco is really in control of that game pretty mumuch from jump and never really let up. Christian McCaffrey
It's like to have a nice
fantastic.
roster around even a career backup quarterback. That's why, look, San Francisco's 5-2. So after that win,
yeah.
And they were in control of that game, but you have a great roster. So all you need to do is tell Mac Jones, don't screw it up. And he hasn't. They're keeping the train on the tracks until Purdy comes back.
And it looks like that could be this week for Brock Purdy to actually return, too. We'll see. And then the other one was Notre Dame USC, and it kind of, spun off a conversation we've had plenty here about Notre Dame and their playoff chances. And, USC also, they've really struggled going across the country. Phil Steele brings it up every week. They did again. They put up plenty of points. They just, that defense, the classic Lincoln Riley team. And Notre Dame, man, they got their marquee win that they needed, and they are alive and well in the playoff conversation. I know that's something you and I have talked about plenty.
Yeah, Notre Dame's not losing again. It's just the one interesting thing is going to be whether or not the committee will look at a 10-2 Notre Dame not in a conference and view them the same way they would like a 10-2 SEC team. Because if you look at Notre Dame, they lost to Miami and Texas A&M, the only other 2 ranked teams they played, and now they beat Southern Cal. The rest of their schedule is Boston College, Navy, Pitt, Syracuse, and Stanford. So they have 3 ranked teams on their schedule. They beat Southern Cal. They lost to Miami and Texas A&M. They're 1-2 against the ranked opponents on their schedule. Is that enough to get them in? Probably, because they're Notre Dame, and they'll probably find their way in. And as I've talked about, the committee, they're a bunch of spineless losers who are just going to find the path of least resistance. And so you're going to put a 10-2 team in over a 9-3 team from a power league that played more ranked opponents because it's just the easiest way. It's the path of least resistance instead of trying to justify putting in a team with 1 additional loss. So, I fully expect Notre Dame will run the table. They'll be in at 10-2, rebounding after losing to Miami, Texas A&M, win 10 straight, and they'll make the playoffs. So maybe there's a landmine somewhere along the way. At Pitt could be tricky, but unlikely. They do have to finish the season on the farm out at Stanford, who got a nice win this past weekend. But in any event, we'll follow. But Notre Dame is likely going to be one of those bid stealers this year in the college football playoff. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Evamore, EVAMOR. Drink Evamore. I'll tell you, one of the bummers about being in Nashville, couldn't find any Evamore out there. So did my best. But great to be home. Grab my 64-ounce bottle of Evamore every morning when I leave the house. Bring one when I come here in studio as well. EVAMOR, Evamore.com. Available at great local retailers. You can find Evamore at a retailer near you if you go to the website, evamore.com, evamore.com, EVAMOR. Hit the store locator. You can find the retailer near you that sells Evamore, or you could buy it online at evamore.com, EVAMOR, evamore.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Real quick, Brian, play number 9 today. Brian Kelly today was asked about Ashton Stamps and Jordan Gilbert. Neither have seen the field lately. Here's the reason why.
We're trying to protect them, both of them. They both have played in 3 games. So if we can, in fact, protect their year, we would try to. This would be a week where they could play their 4th game. and still, maintain eligibility.
So similar to what they did a year ago with West Weeks, when it was clear West and Witt and Zach were all going to try to play one season together. You're seeing that with Caleb Jackson as well, where they're trying to maintain a redshirt year for these guys if they can play them in 4 or fewer games. Interesting, because Stamps came in with so much potential in this season as a number one corner. Led the SEC in PBUs last season, but it looks like he's gunning for a redshirt. All right, hour number 2 coming up after SportsCenter.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor. Go to parishrestoration.com and kill other harmful pathogens as well. Remember, as we're heading now into cold and flu season, if you got a cold or flu bug running through the office, the school, church, whatever it may be, call Parish Restoration. They'll come out, spray their patented non-toxic dry fog treatment, and it's incredible because it'll kill dozens of harmful pathogens. You got mold, they'll spray, close up the windows and the doors, they'll let it dwell. It'll kill everything down to the spores. As soon as the fog dissipates, you're back in, free, clear. It's totally safe. Remember, it's non-toxic, so it's totally safe for your family, for your pets, for your plants. It's a patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. It's Parish Restoration. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. If you want to schedule that consultation, easy to do. Start there, parishrestoration.com.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
When you can't rely on technology, you can rely on Mountain Cold Refreshment.
Things back on.
Coors Light. Choose chill.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website, LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net, powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Builders School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bank, and there will be one game played to claim the American League pennant. It will take place tonight in Toronto as the Blue Jays and Mariners play Game 7 of the ALCS. George Kirby will go to the mound for the Mariners, while Shane Bieber starts for the Blue Jays. You can hear tonight's Game 7 right here on ESPN Radio. Our coverage gets underway at 7:30 Eastern. To football on the Monday night doubleheader. First up, the Buccaneers and the Lions in a key NFC clash in Detroit. That game can be seen on ABC and ESPN beginning at 7 Eastern. Tonight at 10 Eastern, the Seahawks host the Texans on ESPN. Seattle 4-2, Houston 2-3. Meanwhile, Jets are 0-7. Coach Aaron Glenn says he still hasn't made a decision on his quarterback for this week.
Well, that's something that, I want to continue to look at. There's a lot of thought that goes into that. For me personally, and then being able to get with the staff, and then just being able to ask other coaches that have been in the situation.
The Jets play the Bengals on Sunday. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels had an MRI on his hamstring today. Head coach Dan Quinn said the injury is not considered long-term. No word yet on if he'll play next Monday night against Kansas City. Carolina quarterback Bryce Young suffered a sprained ankle in his team's win over the Jets.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Cannon. Coming up on Tuesday, the Eagles and the Chiefs had huge wins this weekend, but did either one do enough to be number one on my power rankings? It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Kid, I'm just not in the mood for it today. Taylor Sharp. You suck. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, we'll talk to Kat Terrell in about an hour and 15 minutes from right now. If you haven't heard yet, news reports around the Saints, both Kendre Miller and Eric McCoy done for the season. So bad gets worse around these parts. We'll talk to Kat coming up next hour. Normally we visit with Peter Burns. Right now, Peter is on a plane to Disney World with his kiddos. So good on him. Go take some family time. That's always more important. So we'll get to some other convos in just a smidge. Namely, I do want to talk about who's going to take that Florida job, why it's significant, could it be Lane Kiffin, all that stuff. We'll get to that at the bottom of the hour. One of the big storylines that emerged Saturday with LSU's loss to Vanderbilt was Tyree Adams. 15 plays into the game, Tyree Adams leaves with an ankle injury. He comes back with on crutches. Apparently, it's significant enough that there were reports Sunday night, Monday morning that Adams, already here on Monday, would miss the Texas A&M game. Brian Kelly clarified on Monday, in fact, that Tyree Adams will miss the game against A&M.
Yeah, he'll be out this week. DJ Chester will be over there. He's our most experienced guy. We'll give Curious Kern some reps out there as well and see how that goes during the week.
I can't say that I'm tremendously surprised that they're going to go Chester over Kern, just given the sample size of this past weekend, right? Adams gets injured. It was Chester that went in. I just don't know that I like it. And so Kelly was asked on Monday throughout the remainder of his presser kind of about that decision. First, sort of the reason why, 19 please, why they decided to go Chester over Kern at left tackle.
Well, that's the best fit for us as 5. for the 5 guys that we're going to put out there. That's our best situation. Moving Josh over there is not going to do it for us. DJ's played a full game there at tackle already. This year, as you know, he played the entire Florida game. Based upon that, and he virtually played the entire game against Vanderbilt, other than the first 12 plays. He had one stumble where his foot got caught in the ground on the turf, and we had a sack that was given up. But by and large, he did what was expected of him, and I have confidence that he can go out there and do the job. Like I said, they've got an outstanding pass rusher over there. 9 or 50 is pretty good, too. We'll have to help. We'll have to do some things to get the ball out quickly. But I feel like if we do that, we've got a guy that's played a lot of football.
By the way, 9 is Cassius Howell, 50 is Dayon Hayes. They're the edge rushers from A&M. I'll get to them here in just a quick second. And I also want to clarify something Kelly said, where he said that DJ had played the whole Florida game. He did not. Chester actually did not play against Florida. He didn't see the field. He played basically the whole Louisiana Tech game when Braylon Moore was injured on the first snap with his ankle injury. Chester played the rest of the game. I'm looking at here, played 82 snaps against Tech. So he basically played the whole game except for the first snap. He played 18 snaps at center against Southeastern, and then he played this past weekend the full game against Vanderbilt at left tackle whenever, after the 15 plays when Tyree Adams went out. Chester did, however, play 4 snaps at left tackle in the opener against Clemson when Tyree Adams kind of got tangled up, went out for a few plays. Chester went in for 4 plays at left tackle. And you remember, that's something Brian Kelly kind of said earlier in the year with DJ, was that he was the next man up at any spot along the 5. He started at center for you a year ago. He's really, truly a more natural guard, 6'6", 320, physical, explosive guy that can move bodies, but not necessarily athletic enough to play out and play tackle. I mean, he is a natural guard who last year played out of position at center, out of necessity, to get your next best guy on the field. And you were able to sort of make up for that because you had so much experience around him with Frazier and Dellinger flanking him on either side. You were really good at tackle with Will Campbell and Emory Jones. Now you're asking Chester, just as a guy that's started on the road at A&M, that's started on the road at Arkansas, that's started major home games against Alabama and started in Vegas against Southern Cal. So he's been in a lot of those moments. So I do understand what Brian Kelly is saying there, that you're choosing the more experienced option in DJ Chester. And yes, he did play this last week against Vanderbilt. We do run through the PFF grades, and I do think there's merit to that. I always say it's a metric. It's not the metric. It's something to consider. But I do, with the offensive line, tend to lean more on the PFF grades because you don't have statistics. Like, we can look at traditional statistics and look at quarterbacks with completion percentage and QBR. We can look at running backs with like yards after contact. I mean, there's things that you can look at with other positions that's harder with the offensive line. Well, Chester played 38 snaps at left tackle this week against Vanderbilt, and his pass blocking grade was a 37.6. So it wasn't necessarily a great day for DJ Chester at left tackle against Vanderbilt. And you heard Brian Kelly say the notable play where Nuss got sacked, where Chester got flat-backed, you heard him say there, Kelly said that his foot got caught in the turf. Okay, I'll take him at his word for it. We all saw the play. Maybe Chester got tied up, turf monster, whatever happened there. And maybe that's why his grade went the way it did. But when I look at Karius Kern, remember, Weston Davis got concussed in pregame, and so Kern played the entire game at right tackle. And Kern's pass blocking grade, again, he true freshman who hadn't played right tackle before, 15 minutes before the game finds out he's going to be starting, and his pass blocking grade was an 80.3. In a game where nobody played particularly well on that offensive line against Ole Miss, the true freshman making his first start did. By the way, remember, the reason Kern started and not Chester is because Chester had been flagged for targeting in the second half the week prior against Southeastern, so he was unavailable. And so then at the start of the second half, they could have gone to Chester but stuck with Kern. I mean, this was Brian Kelly after that Ole Miss game, why they stuck with Kern over Chester.
Because what we saw in the first half, essentially, I think if there were major issues, Matt, Brad and I would have probably made a decision there to make the change. But we felt like Karius was giving us good energy. He was protecting our edge really well in the passing game. There were a couple of mistakes inside out, which we expected that was going to happen. But by and large, we felt like let's let the young guy play. And that was kind of our sense.
Okay, so they played him against Ole Miss, chose him in the second half over Chester, but here now you're going to go Chester over Kern, and Kelly was asked on Monday why.
As it relates to Karius, we're in a situation now where, we've got a matchup this weekend against a veteran team and, a great pass rusher, certainly. And Karius is coming on. But to throw a true freshman in there, I don't want to put him in that situation. I could see him playing, but I prefer to play a guy that's had a lot of experience at that position. And knowing that whoever's at that position with number 9, you've got to help. You got to get somebody that chips. You got to put a tight end over there, elongate the pocket. You've got to do a lot of things in the pass game to help whoever's playing over there.
Man, it's so reminiscent of 2012 against South Carolina, who incidentally was ranked 3rd in the country when they came in to Baton Rouge. And you had Jadeveon Clowney and Devin Taylor as the great defensive ends, and LSU had a big mix-up on its offensive line that week. Hurst left the team. He had an injury at left tackle. You ended up starting Josh DeRosick at left tackle that game, and he pitched a shutout on Clowney and Taylor. And LSU won a pretty dramatic game, if you remember it, in Tiger Stadium. It feels like that's brewing here again with what you're going to do here with Chester out there at left tackle. But what Kelly's talking about there against this A&M team, listen, they're very good in the defensive front. Texas A&M is 6th in the country in TFLs with 55. They are 6th in the country in sacks with 25. Cassius Howell, who wears number 9, he is really good, man. He has 8 sacks and 9 TFLs on the season. That is a dude. He transferred in to Texas A&M. Cassius Howell did. And by the way, remember, a year ago, A&M lost a ton on its defensive front, so they went heavy in the portal this year to replace its defense. So you're talking about a guy in Cassius Howell who was at Bowling Green, transfers to Texas A&M, and has had a hell of a start to his season, as I mentioned, with the 9 TFLs, the 8 sacks, and he did have 3 against Utah State, but it's not like he had one game that was just this watershed moment. He had 3 sacks against Utah State. He had 1 against Auburn, 2.5 against Mississippi State, 1 against Florida, half a sack against Arkansas. So he has affected the passer in every game. And then Deion Hayes is a transfer from Colorado who wears number 50. He's the other guy who's played a bunch, and they're both really good on the edge. And LSU's tackles have been not very good this year. And so this is a massive challenge. It would have been a massive challenge for Tyree Adams. Now it's going to be a massive challenge for Chester and Weston Davis. They better give help because you're going to need it this week against that edge from Texas A&M, which would be the best pass rushing defense that you faced so far this season. But it'll be no Tyree Adams. It'll be DJ Chester at left tackle. See if he can hold up against this Texas A&M defensive front. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. You want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. If you're tired of glasses, contacts, readers, there's never been a better time to see clearly. The Williamson Eye Center, they offer modern vision correction procedures with better results, faster recovery, and new options for people who have always been told you're not a candidate. I was told that for a long time. Turns out I was a perfect candidate. And because we're nearing the end of the year, your FSA, your HSA benefits may be about to expire. Why let them go to waste when you can invest in something life-changing? Schedule that consultation at the Williamson Eye Center right now. Go to WilliamsonEye.com, 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 virtual or in person. You can do a virtual consult if that's easier for you to save you time. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, y'all, it is After Further Review. Thanks for hanging out with us here. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. We'll talk to Kat Terrell in 1 hour. When we come back, though, I do want to give you my thoughts on the really disappointing news for the New Orleans Saints. Eric McCoy, Kendra Miller reportedly done for the season. What that means for this group, we'll talk about it next on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Tell you every day to buy local and shop local. Y'all, it is not too late. We are 11 days away from Halloween, and they still have an amazing selection of pumpkins, all sizes, colors, shapes, interesting and unique gourds and squash and hay bales. So it is not too late to decorate your front porch for Halloween. If you want to carve your pumpkin pies, pumpkin painting parties, all that sort of stuff, homeschool, work, Clegg's Nursery has an awesome selection. So get on by and see our friends at any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Siegen near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Awesome time to get by. To buy local, to shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6th generation.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
You know, we had our chances. I thought our guys battled. I thought our guys put ourselves in a really good position in the middle of the game to come back and get ourselves back in it. A couple scores, one at the end of the half, one to start the third quarter, but then we just couldn't keep it going. And so credit to those guys. They played better than us. They coached better than us. We got to find the formula that works.
That is Ellen Moore.
Ellen Moore.
Now 1-6 as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Moore met with reporters on Monday and unfortunately confirmed the news that had been reported that both Eric McCoy and Kendre Miller are lost for the season.
Roster-wise, obviously we'll end up having a couple moving pieces here as a result of this, with Eric McCoy's bicep being done for the year and then Kendre's ACL being done for the year. So obviously really unfortunate because both those guys have felt like been playing some really good football, and they've been doing a lot of good things. And so opportunities for other guys moving forward. We'll have to navigate that and play with those different combinations and sort through that.
So we'll do two things here. One, we'll talk about what the Saints are losing in these guys, both the injuries, and who has the opportunity now with both McCoy and Kendre Miller done for the season. First of all, with Eric McCoy, this is devastating. You've invested so much in the offensive line. We've talked about it plenty, right? I mean, you all know with Fuaga, Banks, Penning, Ruiz, it's 4 first-round picks. McCoy was a second-round pick, but in his draft, he was your first selection. You didn't have a 1 that year. He was your first pick in that draft. And I think Fuaga and Banks have the potential to be really good players. Your guards with Penning and Ruiz, they're among the worst in the NFL at their position. Those are wasted draft picks. You blew it. You wasted first-round picks on 2 dudes that are busts. You're running them out there almost out of obligation because you used first-round picks on them, but I don't know that either is dramatically better than anyone else you'd have on your roster that you'd bring in off the street. I'm hopeful for the young tackles. McCoy has been really good. Unfortunately, a year ago, he missed a chunk of the season because of the groin injury, and now he's going to miss 11 games, I guess 10 games. There's 7 in, so he'll miss 10 games because of the bicep injury. And it affects the battery. I mean, you're trying to develop young quarterbacks here, and that battery with the center is so important. And now McCoy's lost for the year. You know, when you look at Eric McCoy's contract, you know, he signed an extension on his rookie deal that was a 5-year, $60 million extension. So he's under contract through 2027. He doesn't become an unrestricted free agent until 28. So he's got 2 more years after this one with accelerators. However, after a restructure, next year his cap hits $17 million. The dead cap number is $18 million. So he'll certainly be back next year. If you would want to move on at some point, you would look at 2027 as the opportunity where he's got $17.5 million cap hit and his dead number is 10.9. So you'd save money there. But essentially to say, if you're thinking like, is this a point with a guy he's 28 years old, still a relatively young player, are you thinking of the next option after back-to-back season-ending injuries? Last year wasn't season-ending, but cost you a chunk of the season. I don't think you're there, certainly not yet, with Eric McCoy. And as Kellen Moore said, he kind of explained what you lose in Eric McCoy and losing your veteran starting center.
Certainly he's one of our most impactful leaders on this team, and so other guys are going to have an opportunity to fill that void on the field. I think Eric still has that presence to all these guys. No matter what capacity he's in, he'll do everything he can to help, and think the world of him. He's been playing some phenomenal football, and so we'll have to navigate the roster as far as how that position ends up playing out. We have about 24 hours to kind of sort through that, and then we'll have to put a plan of action together and move forward with it.
The good news, I don't know that I would call this good news, but if there's a smidge of good news here, it's that you have a little bit of a safety net, more so than you had a year ago. And look, Lucas Patrick came in and you had Shane Lemieux as well, and those guys did their best amid that offensive line shuffle with so many injuries. Remember, this offseason back in August, you traded Colin Saunders to Jacksonville for Luke Fortner. I'm not sitting here telling you that Luke Fortner's a dominant player, but you sent Saunders to Jacksonville to get a veteran backup offensive lineman because Saunders didn't really fit the mold of what Brandon Staley wanted in his defensive lineman. So you saw a guy that you could move and get some value. And so they moved Saunders and got Fortner. Fortner spent 3 years in Jacksonville. And up until this point in his career, he had started 34 games. He was a 2-year starter. He started every game in 22 and 23 in Jacksonville. Played in every game in 24, but lost his starting job. And then this year has played in all 7 games. But so he's been active and played in all 7 games as a backup, special teams, all that sort of stuff, as your rotational guy. But now likely is the one that fills that void. By the way, this was Ellen Moore back in August whenever when they traded for Luke Fortner.
We felt like it was an awesome opportunity. Luke's done a lot of good things in this league. He's played a number of snaps, started a number of games. He's a really smart player. So he gives us some interior depth that we felt like could be very valuable as the season goes.
There's validity to that. And remember, Doug Peterson was the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars when they drafted Luke Fortner. This is what Peterson said back in the 22 draft when they picked him.
There's a lot to like about Luke. One, when you meet this kid, he's wired the right way. We do like him at center, but he has the position flex to move to guard as well, which again, the position versatility is really good. And gives us the depth at the position. Gives great competition there. He's a guy that when you watch him on film, he can do everything that we do in our offense in the run game. Whether he's reaching a 3 technique or climbing to the second level, he's got the ability to do that. He can redirect, and just a really good fit for our offensive line in that room.
They took him, by the way, Jacksonville took Fortner in the 3rd round. Remember, out of Kentucky. If you're an SEC fan, you might remember the name. So there's a guy with some familiarity there, and they were high on him coming out of college, and he's played a good amount of football. He's played in 58 games with 34 starts in his career. So you're talking about a guy that's played a lot of football. So it's not quite as dramatic a drop-off as a year ago when you were having guys play out of position and shuffling on the offensive line. So that trade for Fortner does soften the blow of losing McCoy a smidge. At running back, losing Kendre Miller just sucks. It just sucks. That's a guy who it was looking clearer and clearer that a big part of why his career was slow to launch was that previous coaching staff. They drafted him, but look, a year ago when they were out in California for camp, and Miller had the soft tissue injury like the first day, and Dennis Allen can't make the team, in the training room, and was just riding Kendre Miller. It was hard to imagine his future here. Well, the change of leadership ended up proving to be very fruitful for Miller, and he had been really fun to watch so far this season, not only in the running game, but also in the return game as well. You kind of saw some of the explosiveness that made Kendre Miller a 3rd-round draft pick, averaging over 4 yards a carry this season. He was able to catch the ball as well out of the backfield. But now this ACL injury, 7 games into the season, he's done for the year. And so you look at what's next. Moore Monday. Can you play number 5, please? This was Kellen Moore talking about Kendre.
I'm really proud of what Kendre has turned this season into from an individual standpoint, the progress he's made. It's a really unfortunate timing from an injury perspective, just because even that run, yesterday was a really good run. And so, there'll be some challenging days for him because of this. We think the world of him. He's going to be better, moving forward, and he'll be back and have more opportunities in the future.
We'll see if that actually holds. What this means now is a great opportunity for Devin Neal. Now, the Saints drafted Devin Neal in round 6 this year, and this is one of those day 3 draft picks that a lot of people were excited about because he's a guy that left Kansas as their all-time leader in every rushing category. But as a guy that was 5'11", 213, and maybe a half step slow, ended up being a 6th-round pick. Instead of he was a half step faster, he might have been a day 2 pick. Now, he was slowed in camp at the beginning of the season. Remember, he basically missed the preseason because of a soft tissue injury, and he just hasn't had the opportunities. He's going to get them now. He had 2 carries in the opener against Arizona. He had 1 carry Sunday against Chicago, 1 carry for 1 yard. But with an aging Alvin Kamara and now Devin Neal, presumably the number 2, replacing Kendre Miller, that role has got to increase here, and that's something Kellen Moore acknowledged on Monday.
We've really liked Devin all the way through this whole process. We were fired up when we drafted him. He had an unfortunate injury that limited his preseason exposure. I thought he hopped in there and played some kick return as well. His role obviously will increase quite a bit moving forward. And, I think he can do all aspects of the run game, pass game, protections. We're going to count on moving forward.
So we have looked a lot this year at young guys trying to identify who can be cornerstone pieces to build on for the future. We've talked a lot about Quincy Riley and Jonas Sanker and Danny Stutzman. Obviously, the tackles, Banks and Fuaga. We can throw Devin Neal in the mix now. I don't know what the answer to the test is going to be, but you got 10 games, which will be a really good audition to see if you feel like this 6th-round pick can be someone who can contribute for you on Sundays, or if he's just going to be a guy that's a special team or practice squad guy, bounce around for a few years in the league, and then, go back to Lawrence and sell insurance or open up a car dealership or something. I don't know what it'll do. But this is a really good audition for him. It's unfortunate how it's coming about, but it's here. So we'll see if he can make the most of it. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're hanging out with us here, halfway home on a Monday edition of AFR presented by Relief Windows. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back, and I want to shift back to the major storyline in college football from Sunday, which is Billy Napier being fired and the short list of candidates headlined by Lane Kiffin for who could be next in Gainesville. I got some thoughts. We'll do it next. It's AFR.
After Further Review.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. You can always go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com. You can see testimonials there, real, actual client results. And I always encourage you as well to check them out on social media. Like right now, we always tell you about the G team, the great NIL deals that Gordon and his team have done. Right now, there's a cool video up with LSU running back Caden Durham. If you want to check that out, you can do it on all the social media at GetGordon, That's on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. It's all there for you at GetGordon. So be sure to follow Gordon on all the social media. You can learn more about the great NIL deals that Gordon has done with so many players, not only with the Tiger football team, but all different sports and different schools as well. So you know what to do. You've been injured in an accident. It's not your fault. Get Gordon and get it done.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
Well, Billy Napier became the 11th coach fired this football season after the Gators beat Mississippi State but dismissed Napier on Sunday. Scott Strickland made it official, releasing a statement. It was all over, but the shouting last week when the boosters had a meeting with Strickland and said effectively fire him or we're not giving you any more money. Well, money talks, and you can't operate without booster support and financial support. And so Napier, his days were numbered. They're heading into the bye, so he's gone. That's not surprising at all. This felt like an inevitability. It was going to happen. Billy Napier was going to get fired. It was a matter of when they were going to pull the trigger there. The big question now becomes, okay, well, who is next? And all of the conversation is centering around Lane Kiffin. And there was a report from John Talty of CBS that Scott Strickland has already begun doing his due diligence on Lane Kiffin possibly being the next Florida coach, and also that Ole Miss has already begun the conversations about an extension to keep Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. Clearly, that is going to be the first domino to fall, be it Kiffin deciding to stay at Ole Miss or leaving for Florida or wherever it may be. But it feels like the rest of the coaching carousel won't spin until that domino falls. Pete Thamel on ESPN weighed in on who is next at Florida.
The big name that's going to loom over this job is Lane Kiffin. The Ole Miss coach would be a really fascinating foil to Kirby Smart in that Florida and Georgia rivalry. He's obviously outkicking Ole Miss's historical norms by a significant amount, and he fits the vibe that Florida wants. Remember Spurrier's fun and gun, Urban Meyer's spread. Billy Napier's offense, simply put, was kind of boring. And Lane Kiffin does bring sort of that sarcastic verve we remember from Spurrier in his glory days. I'd be surprised, Arda, if the next Florida coach isn't one of these four gentlemen: Kiffin, Jeff Brom of Louisville, Eli Drinkwitz of Missouri, or perhaps Rhett Lashley of SMU. And we'll add another candidate with a Florida tie. Jed Fish of Washington was Howie Roseman's roommate for a stretch in Gainesville.
That's Pete Thamel. It's interesting when it comes to coaching searches, and we'll talk about Florida, obviously, because it does impact LSU. And certainly if Lane Kiffin were to leave Ole Miss, that even more so impacts LSU, because Ole Miss is one of LSU's 3 annual opponents. Florida now is not, but you'll play them every other year. So yes, you absolutely are going to talk about coaching hires that affect you. My feeling on this is I would love to see Lane Kiffin take the Florida job. Now, hold on. I know you're going to roll your eyes and say you're crazy. My preference would be that Lane Kiffin go coach at Oregon State and get the hell out of town and go coach somebody else far away that you never have to see. But my feeling is, and has always been, I need doormats to be doormats. I don't need Vanderbilt beating LSU. I don't need Lane Kiffin getting Ole Miss to the playoff. I don't need Arkansas being ranked third in the country with Bobby Petrino back in 2011. I need doormats. Now, I understand that I'm sitting here telling you that we have reached a level of parity in college football that we've never seen before. The ceiling has been lowered. The floor has been raised. I don't think at this point anyone could disagree with me. Like, look around college football. Indiana is ranked number 2 in the country. And it's not like a season ago where they had a bunch of patsies on their schedule. They went 11-1, but got their ass kicked by the 2 legitimate teams they faced. They went to Oregon and won by double digits, and it wasn't even that close. Oregon got a pick 6 in the fourth quarter that made it look closer than it really was. Vanderbilt beating LSU wasn't a fluke. It's a good football team. They got a real approach with how they're building their roster. They're going for veteran players, guys that have played a ton of football. They're fitting the system they want. Really good coach in Clark Lee. Tim Beck's done a great job with the offense. Again, like shortening the game. They got their approach. And they're recruiting and signing out of the portal guys that fit the mold of what they want to do. I would love to see, you know who I want to see coach Ole Miss? I want to see Matt Luke coach Ole Miss. I want to see Ed Ogeron coach Ole Miss. I want to see Ole Miss be the Ole Miss they were from like 1965 until Lane Kiffin showed up. Occasionally, David Cutcliffe and Eli will have a year where they claim a championship they didn't win. But by and large, they're runs. That's what I need from Ole Miss. I need Lane Kiffin to leave Ole Miss and for them to be awful. Florida, I always anticipate Florida's going to be good. They got great resources, good recruiting base, history, all that sort of stuff. Always assume they're going to be good. Yeah, and they'll screw up and hire Ron Zook. They'll screw up and hire Billy Napier and swing and miss. But the majority of what Florida's been for the last 40 years has been Steve Spurrier, Urban Meyer. I mean, Dan Mullen had success there. Oh, Yellow Teeth, the Shark Humper. What was his name? Like, he got them to the SEC championship game a couple of times. McElwain. Like, Florida, you anticipate is going to be okay. So Lane Kiffin in Florida doesn't disrupt the flow of the ecosystem of college football. Lane Kiffin making Ole Miss relevant disrupts the ecosystem of college football, the natural way of the world. Clark Lee making Vanderbilt relevant is a problem. I need him to leave. What I need is for Diego Pavia to not get any more eligibility, and then they probably go back to not being great. I don't know that they'll go back to 2-22 in the conference over 3 years, but they're probably not going to get to top 10 in the country again. Anyway, don't want to get distracted. So yes, I know there's a lot of LSU fans today, especially after LSU lost to Vanderbilt, that want to see Lane Kiffin coach LSU. I'm here to tell you, Coach, that ain't going to happen. All right? Like, LSU's not firing Brian Kelly. There's no appetite to pay a $50 million buyout. So that ain't happening. Let that ship sail. The question is, would you rather see Lane Kiffin stay at Ole Miss and continue to be a thorn in your side in Oxford? Or would you rather him go to Gainesville, where they're probably going to invest and have good rosters? And I remember, dude, Napier beat you last year. You lost last year in Gainesville to Napier. Florida's good. I'm okay with Florida being good. They're usually good. I need Ole Miss to not be good. So I need Lane Kiffin to leave Ole Miss. Will he? I don't know. What I'm confident of is it won't be a money thing. And there's talks of Ole Miss bumping Lane Kiffin to the $12, $13 million a year range, which Florida could pay too. That's not going to be the question for Kiffin. And I believe he's much happier at Ole Miss now than he was 3 years ago. And I will tell you, I know with absolute certainty that he was pissed in 22 that Florida and LSU did not call him. Lane Kiffin did not get a sniff from Florida or LSU in 2022. And I don't know if that lingers. No idea. But clearly he's in a much different spot. He's talked about it. A lot of people who cover the sport nationally have talked about it. It's very obvious when you look at Lane Kiffin. It's also obvious that they can compete. They've invested to be able to compete. The question is, does he feel like he can win a championship at Ole Miss? If he can, I think he stays. If he feels like he cannot win a championship at Ole Miss, that he's maximized what they can be at Ole Miss, then I think he'll take a top-tier job that wants to have him. And Florida would certainly qualify. LSU would as well, but LSU's not going to be open. Unless if Brian Kelly decides he doesn't want to coach anymore. That's about the only way it would happen. I might talk about that coming up in 15 minutes. Brian Kelly's future at LSU. Since a lot of you want to talk about that today. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Arco Power Systems. Arco.com, 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 ARCCO, Arco.com, Arco Power Systems. When we live in Louisiana, particularly South Louisiana, people know a lot about generators. What I'm talking about with Arco, however, is not home standby generators. Okay, this is not for your home. This is industrial generator power. This is for your business. What type of business? Any type of business. Nursing homes, grocery chains, hospitals, hotels, banks, chemical plants, gas stations, universities, governments, municipalities, any type of business. What happens when the storm comes, the power goes out at your business? What happens? For many of us, that's not an option. Arco Power Systems can help. They work 24/7 during disasters. They can come install a permanent standby generator option. They can rent you your standby generator. And, of course, they can service your generator. It's Arco Power Systems. Turnkey service. Be proactive. They sell, lease, and service industrial generator power. It's Arco Power Systems. Arco.com, Arco.com, ARCCO, Arco.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Monday shows are brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows door siding, they do shutters as well, ReliefWindows.com. Cat Terrell in 30 minutes, talk a little who dat. How the Saints move on without Kendre Miller and Eric McCoy, and what Kellen Moore had to say on Monday. We'll dive into that with Cat coming up here about 30 minutes from right now. We'll also get to our college football takeaways. And, in about 15 minutes, I will talk about what I think will be Brian Kelly's future at LSU. We'll do that as we continue. We're glad you're here on a Monday edition of AFR. Stick around.
After Further Review.
You ever thought about building a pool? Sure you have. Maybe you have a home that has a pool and it needs a facelift, a pool remodel. Duplessis Builders can help you there. Or maybe you live in that home that you love your home, but you've always wanted a pool. And you wondered, who should I hire? Hear horror stories of some pool builders. Can I really afford it? What are my options? I'll tell you, you need to give Duplessis Builders a shout. A lot of pool builders. Listen, there are a lot of pool builders. And a lot of pool builders have beautiful pictures of resort-style pools on Instagram. Duplessis has those as well. But with Duplessis Builders, number one, get a 10-year workmanship guarantee when the industry standard is 1 year. That's because Derek stands by his work. He's an engineer by trade. He stands by his work. And number two, they can build you the beautiful resort-style pool, but they also have pools for any budget starting at $49,000. Learn more. DuplessisBuilders.net.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away a Duplessis Builders pool.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders, we're learning how to improve the immune health of everyone. That's the power of research. That's the impact of champions. Together, we roar.
Mornings with Brian Haldane is the only live and local talk show in the capital city. Get the news from the newsmakers, along with traffic and weather updates throughout the morning. The conversation starts weekday mornings at 6 on Talk 107.3.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead...
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. We'll talk about Brian Kelly's future since that's been a hot topic since Saturday. It's coming up here in about 12 minutes from right now. Right now, Musso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now.
All right, let's start with JD5. Daniels left the game against the Cowboys on Sunday with a hamstring injury. He would not return. After the game, Dan Quinn said they'll know more after an MRI. Well, the MRI was done on Monday. Dan Quinn, when he met with the media, said the MRI results were encouraging. The injury is not significant or long-term. However, they still don't have the sense of if he will be able to play a week from tonight when Washington heads to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. In the game, Daniels threw for 156, ran for 35, 2 total touchdowns. Grant Delpit for the Cleveland Browns, productive day for Delpit. 4 stops, including a sack for the former LSU safety. That sack, his first of the season for Cleveland. Big day in New England, technically in Tennessee, but for New England and the former Tigers. Kayshon Boutte, 2 receptions in the game, 55 yards and a touchdown. It was another deep shot, phenomenal catch by Boutte, and it ultimately was the deciding score in the game. Tennessee was up 13-10. That put the Patriots up 17-13, and they would never look back en route to a pretty comfortable victory. Kayvon Chaisson, we've talked plenty about him. He has made the most of his opportunities with New England, and that really can't be any more clear than what happened on Sunday. Just 3 tackles, but 2 of them were sacks. One of them forced a fumble that he would recover and run into the end zone for a touchdown. So that's just a all-around phenomenal day for Chaisson. He's now up to 4.5 sacks on the season for New England. Great day for 2 former Tigers in that one. 2 former Tiger teammates in that one. Devin White also, we've talked about him getting back to his old ways. How about 16 tackles for the Las Vegas Raiders on Sunday, including 1 for a loss and another hit on the quarterback. And then lastly, we'll wrap up with some baseball. Over the weekend, Kevin Gausman towed the rubber for the Blue Jays, 5 2/3, gave up a run, punched out 4, got the no decision. Game 7 between the Blue Jays and the Mariners tonight. See if they can extend their season in Toronto. And for Kevin Gausman, that's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Remember, you can always explore financing on the website. It's really easy. Again, the average car buyer visits 1.2 dealerships now before making a purchase. That's because everybody shops online. So you have to be able to do the whole thing online. Real easy. Go to southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. There's a finance tab at the top of the page. You can get pre-approved right there on the website, southpointvw.com. Pretty easy to fill out the application at the website. While you're there, you can shop all the vehicles. New and certified pre-owned. You can search every vehicle. If it's on the lot, it's online. All the dealer specials. They even have a 2025 first edition Volkswagen ID Buzz. That's the all-electric bus. If you want to check it out right now at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, y'all, it's after further review. Glad you're rolling along with us here. Remember, if you missed anything, you can email us, tweet us, or text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. There's lots of ways you can get involved in the show. Kat Terrell's coming up in 20 minutes from right now. We'll talk some Saints. Muse Taylor and I will give you our college football takeaways next hour. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. A double dip of Monday Night Football, and as Muse just mentioned, a Game 7 in Major League Baseball tonight. We'll get your picks coming up. They're live right now at LouisianaSports.net if you want them. When we come back, though, obviously since LSU lost to Vanderbilt, it's been a giant question everyone's asked about Brian Kelly's future at LSU. I'll give you my thoughts. We'll do it next when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
Y'all, Rouse's is here to help you cover the spread all season long. And I'm not talking about the point spread. We're talking about your tailgate spread. The Tigers are back at home this weekend with a gigantic night game in Tiger Stadium. Boy, it really could have been an epic all-time environment if the Tigers taking care of business against Vandy. They didn't, but still a top 5 team, undefeated, number 3 Texas A&M coming in. And our friends over at Rouse's can help you prepare for your tailgate. All your beers, your bourbon, your wine, your tailgate trays, your party platters. If you're having a herd of people come in town this weekend and you're going to be hosting them all, either at a tailgate, a home gate, a game watch, let Rouse's help. Maybe just you and the fam at the house. You want some meat to throw on the grill. Get by the seafood market, the meat market, some steak, some fish, whatever it is. Rouse's got you covered, and of course, helping you make groceries for 65 years. With 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach and points in between, Rouse's.com. Rouse's, this feels like home.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal.
Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's.
One love. Let's go.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer.
With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Benkin, and we'll come down to one game for the pennant. The Blue Jays and Mariners playing Game 7 of the ALCS tonight in Toronto. You can hear that game on ESPN Radio with our coverage getting underway at 7:30 Eastern. To football, the Monday night doubleheader. First up, the Buccaneers and Lions in Detroit. Former Buck Rondé Barber on the Rich Eisen show said he's been impressed with the Tampa offense despite the rash of injuries they've been facing.
This team is fun to watch, and it's largely because of Baker, but also because of the job that Josh Grizzard's doing on offense. You know, not adjusting the offense because your star players are out.
One of those star players is in for tonight. Receiver Emeka Egbuka is active for Tampa. The game can be seen on ABC and ESPN in an hour. Tonight at 10 Eastern on ESPN, it's the Seahawks and the Texans. NFL quarterback injury news. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels had an MRI on his hamstring, and head coach Dan Quinn said the injury is not considered long-term. Falcons quarterback Michael Penix Jr. suffered a bone bruise in his lower leg. He is day-to-day. And Panthers quarterback Bryce Young sprained his ankle in the team's win over the Jets. He's expected to miss next Sunday's game.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We make the claims process easy so you can get back on the road in no time. It's why over 43 million drivers trust Progressive. See for yourself at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 3 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Taylor Sharp. Musu. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Kat Terrell here in about a dozen minutes from right now. We'll talk some Saints. If you missed the news today with the black and gold, Eric McCoy, Kendre Miller done for the season. McCoy, a bicep injury. Miller, a torn ACL. So a couple of big losses on the offensive side for New Orleans, who sit at 1-6 and welcome in the streaking Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Dome this weekend. So we'll get to that with Kat coming up here in about a dozen minutes from right now. Since LSU's loss Saturday to Vanderbilt, 31-24, the natives have been restless, as you might imagine. Fans are unhappy. It's the first time in 35 years that LSU has lost to Vanderbilt. It was a 10-game winning streak. They don't play very often, but the game, Mike Archer is the head coach, 1990. Todd Kinchin looked like he had caught the game winner and was flagged for offensive pass interference, and LSU lost to Vanderbilt. It's the last time it had happened. So I understand very much the fan unrest when you have all of the expectation that accompanied this season, and my hand is up in the air. I have been a big part of pushing that expectation. And I do believe still, as I sit here, pushing that expectation was justified. You had a fifth-year senior quarterback, the leading returning passer in college football, tons of offensive weapons. The head coach told you they went and spent $18 million when a year ago that number was about $5.5 million that they dumped into this roster. You had the number one portal class in the country, a manageable schedule where you avoided back-to-back road conference games at any point on the slate. Yeah, I believe the hype and the expectation around this team was warranted. And I, as some of you pointed out this weekend, said 8-4 would be a cataclysmic failure. And I believe 8-4 with this roster is a cataclysmic failure. When you have a coach that you're paying $9.5 million per year, all that you've invested in the staff, the support staff, the roster, all of it, yes, you should have a greater expectation than losing to Vanderbilt. Absolutely. So I'm not going to sit here today and tell you, simmer down now. I'm not going to do that. You want to be pissed? Be pissed. You should be. I'll never tell you lower your expectations. Because when you lower your expectations, that's when complacency starts to settle in. And that's not a good place to be. I want there to be giant expectations. So you hold people accountable when they fall short of those expectations. Now, I know since Saturday, a lot of you have yelled, fire the coach. A lot of y'all are ready for the Brian Kelly era to be over here in year 4. Well, I'm here to tell you that's not going to happen after this season. At least it's not going to happen on LSU's accord, meaning they're not going to fire him. As a matter of fact, one booster told me on Sunday the word he used was there was no appetite to pay Brian Kelly $57 million after this season to make him go away. And the thing that some people acknowledge, realize, understand is a thing that I've mentioned here. Whether you agree with it, like it or not, it's the reality. LSU's lost 2 games, both road conference games to ranked teams. Now, the expectation, if you want to win championships, you got to beat ranked teams on the road. It's hard in the SEC. I get it. But the ceiling has been lowered. The floor has been raised. All the teams have been compressed. Georgia, which looked so dominant a half decade ago, just gave up 35 on its home field to Ole Miss and had to survive a game where they had to rally. Texas, they run over Oklahoma. A week later, they need overtime to eke past Kentucky 16-13. You all know the drill. You know the count. So, all that to say, I get it. It's Vanderbilt. I get it. It's Vanderbilt. But Vanderbilt's pretty good right now. They've invested in a good coach, a good staff, facilities. They got a quarterback who's a hell of a playmaker, really veteran team. They know who they are. They execute what they do really well. You made way too many mistakes. You lost. Not good. Not acceptable. I get it. But you're going to lose games like that. If you're looking at Kelly and what his future may hold, here's what I would tell you. And I did get his contract this weekend. So I read through Brian Kelly's contract this weekend. His contract runs through 2031. It was a 10-year deal, $95 million, with 90% buyout owed if at any point he's terminated without cause, right? So if LSU were to fire Brian Kelly without cause, they'd owe him 90% of the balance, which this year is north of $50 million. And it would depend on when it is because it's monthly installments and all that stuff. So if it's $53 million, it's north of $50 million, put it that way. They would owe him north of $50 million this year. That number, there is mitigation, so that number would be offset if he got another job. By the way, that number would be offset if he got a media job as well. So again, hypothetically, and I want to be very clear, I do not believe this is going to happen. So for those of you like crossing your fingers and holding your breath, like I do not believe it's going to happen, nor do I think it should happen. But if they were to fire him, they'd owe him north of $50 million, and his buyout would be offset by anything that he would make either as a coach or in media, which is important. Like if he didn't want to coach again, went and got a job at ESPN, whatever he was making on his TV deal, that would be his buyout would be offset by that number. I think the real key is if you are someone who is like crossing fingers, lighting candles, ready to move on, you're just done with the Kelly era. And again, I'm not there. If you are, though, I'm just giving you information. That if he leaves, you would not owe him a buyout. Now, there could be some negotiated terms of some type of settlement or something along those lines, but you would not owe him the balance of the contract. Let's say Brian Kelly retires after this year. 63 years old, decides, you know what? I'm not with it anymore. I want to go do the Nick Saban thing and go do TV. Go work on game day. Go be a studio host somewhere. Be around the game, but don't have to worry about recruiting and NIL and all that stuff. Then LSU owes him nothing for the balance of his contract. That is your potential out. And I don't know that that's going to happen. I want to be really clear about this. So, and I know how sometimes when you do segments like this, people get crossways between like what your understanding is of my opinion and what is I'm just sharing information with you. So I'm trying to be very clear about what is my opinion and what is just me giving information. Like me giving information is this, right? I'm telling you what his contract says and all that sort of stuff. That's me giving you information. I'm telling you based on conversations I've had, there is no appetite to spend $50 million to buy out Brian Kelly. That's not going to happen. Like I would fall over stunned. I mean, if they lost out and went 5-7, I still don't know that there's an appetite to spend $50 million to buy out Brian Kelly. Okay, and by the way, I don't think they're going to lose out. I do think they're going to win one of A&M Florida, or excuse me, A&M Alabama, Oklahoma at least, because it might be this weekend. College football is weird. Like as much as down as you are right now on LSU, they're a 1.5-point dog at home against A&M. You could tell me they can't win that game? I'm not saying they will. Can they? Hell yeah, they can. Anyway, let me not get distracted. One thing I could see happening, and I'm telling you this as an opinion, not rooted in anything other than just my opinion reading a situation. Are we clear? I'm not breaking news. I'm not reporting news. I'm not telling you anything I've heard. I'm just giving you my opinion. Matt Moscona giving you my opinion here today. Brian Kelly, 63 years old. About a month ago, he was asked about this era, right, and working with a general manager in Austin Thomas. This is not a knock on Austin, by the way. It's just how things are structured. Austin's great at what he does. It's how things are structured. And Brian Kelly was asked about this sort of loosely and if he thought he'd work like this. And he kind of cracked a joke in the way he does, but I think there's some truth in this.
No, it's kind of one of the reasons why I never went to the NFL. If quite honest with you. I just felt like with all my years, it was going to be hard for me to give that piece up. But it's been a lot easier because I like who I'm working with. They love LSU. They're committed to what they're doing. They're really good at what they do. So it's made that kind of transition a lot easier. And I probably should have taken some of those NFL jobs that were offered years ago. No, I'm kidding.
So he's cracking jokes because that's what he does. BK's big on the dad humor, the dad jokes. They very seldom land, which I think is actually endearing. It's kind of funny. The fact that they're so bad, they never land. But anyway, I could see a reality where at the end of this season, at 63 years old, a team that was all in, veteran quarterback, $18 million transfer, but he put up $1 million. Y'all, this man, for all of you who crap on him, put up $1 million of his own money. $1 million of his own money to try to build this roster. You don't think he's all in this year? Dude is all in this year. Say what you want. How many of you put a damn dime up? That man put $1 million. He makes, who cares? You ain't put up $1. He put up $1 million of his own money. Dude is all in this year to win. So you have a disappointing year. You come up short. Fans are dogpiling on you. Pressure's ratcheting up. You never wanted this style anyway. You like to recruit and develop. Do you say at this point, I'm good? Go do TV like Nick's doing. Don't have to worry about portal, NIL, any of that stuff. Rev share, GMs, players want to get paid. Take it to the house. Maybe. Again, Matt's opinion rooted in nothing. I'm not breaking news. I'm not reporting anything. I'm just giving you my opinion. That if you want the Brian Kelly era to end, that's the only path that I see it happening after this year. If he decides he's done. And I think a big part of that has to do with how the rest of this season plays out. So we'll see. Great opportunity this weekend with the Aggies coming in. All right, it's after further review. Kat Terrell next. Stay here.
AFR.
If you are thinking about selling your home, man, you got to call Darren James. I'm going to give you Darren's cell. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. That's agent225.com. Y'all, when I tell you about Darren James, I'm telling you about the realtor that literally sells more homes than anyone. Wall Street Journal's Real Trends lists the top 1% of realtors in America. No one does it faster. No one gets you more. You want more money in your pocket at closing? You want Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Remember, when you go to the website, hit the home value tool, type in your address, boom, local market data to give you an accurate number of what your home is worth right now. Nobody better than Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Tiger Country is 100.7 The Tiger. In the car on 100.7 FM or on the 100.7 The Tiger app.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
We had our chances. I thought our guys battled. I thought our guys put ourselves in a really good position in the middle of the game to come back and get ourselves back in it. A couple scores, one at the end of the half, one to start the third quarter, but then we just couldn't keep it going. And so credit to those guys. They played better than us. They coached better than us. We got to find the formula that works.
That is Kellen Moore, Saints 1-6, and now they're going to be down a couple of key players as Eric McCoy and Kendre Miller, both done for the season with injuries. Kat Terrell of ESPN.com, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. Hey, Kat, thanks for the time. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Better than all the local teams are doing, or maybe I'm
well,
maybe I'm doing
low
about
bar
as
right now.
maybe I'm doing about as poorly as they are. Let's start with that there with these injuries to McCoy and Miller. Take them one at a time. How did McCoy's injury happen? Do we know that?
I haven't gotten a chance to rewatch the game yet, so I'm not really sure what happened. He had a elbow biceps injury last year that caused him to miss the last game of the season, I believe. Kellen Moore said it wasn't the same injury, so I guess I'll take it on faith that's correct, and it was a different biceps tear. Which, if that's the case, that's just really brutal for McCoy. Just horrible luck. And then Miller only played 2 snaps and got injured, went to the injury tent, walked out of it on his own power and went to the locker room. And, they both just dealt with a lot of bad injury luck in the last 2 seasons.
Which do you feel is more significant for this Saints team?
Oh, I mean, definitely McCoy. You saw how last year when McCoy went down, I thought the offense really took a nosedive. They're already struggling right now. The offense is ranked 24th in total offense and 29th in points, I think. So one of their best players is gone. I just think that's a brutal loss, and it's probably going to reflect in, I would say, results. They've only won one game, but I do think you're going to see how that plays out and reflects on them next week.
How big of a drop off from McCoy to Luke Fortner?
I mean, I think it's a pretty significant one. McCoy was playing pretty well. He's their Pro Bowl center. I think when the Saints traded for Fortner, I don't think Jacksonville fans had a super high opinion of him, but that often happens when a player is traded away, right? The fans of the team that is sending the player away usually scramble to say, well, the player wasn't good anyway.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see how he fits in this offense. I think McCoy's, as Moore said, McCoy's communication, just longevity, overall play, just everything, it's really hard to replace.
Kat Terrell's with us. What about, I would assume Devin Neal now becomes the guy who gets the lion's share of the carries in place of Kendre Miller. What's a realistic expectation for how he fits in here?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how that plays out. I thought that in the game against the Bears, I don't know if you saw the clip, but he had one block that was just great. He really just threw his whole body into it. I remember at the time thinking, oh, that was a really good play. How he would play as a backup to Alvin Kamara, I don't know, but I'm not saying Miller's injury is a good thing. It's not, and I do feel for him. But if you're going to look on the positive side, I do think it's good for the Saints to get to see all of their rookies and how the future is going to look. And, obviously Kendre is young too, but if you're going to take a positive out of it, it's that you're going to get to see, 22-year-old rookie Devin Neal and what he does. But I do think that Miller was trending positively after having a tough season last year. And so, that's definitely tough for him, especially, with a new coaching staff. It's just bad timing. Definitely a hard one for him.
Kat, I would assume also, like, they're not going to move forward with just 2 running backs. So what do they do for depth at that position?
Yeah, I was actually thinking about this earlier because that position is a tough one where a lot of injuries happen. The Saints got 1 week of having people not injured, and I knew as soon as I talked about it, there was going to be a ton of injuries the next week. Yeah, so obviously I would think Devin Neal would be first up. Velus Jones would get more time. I wouldn't be surprised if they go look for someone else to add to the practice squad. Yeah, I'm not really sure because it's not a position that has a ton of depth on the team, but I mean that's not weird. Most teams only have like 3 running backs on the active roster, depending on how you look at fullbacks and things like that. So I would definitely be expecting them in the next few days to add someone else. Just don't know who yet.
ESPN.com, on Twitter at @Kat_Terrell. Make sure you give her a follow. Kat, do you get the sense that there's any appetite toward moving toward giving Tyler Shuck a shot?
Well, I don't think Moore closed that door today, and I thought it was interesting. He kind of got bombarded with Tyler Shuck questions, which is to be expected. And so he gets asked 2 questions about Tyler Shuck, and it's more about Rattler. Is Rattler going to be the guy? Does Rattler need to be looking over his shoulders? And he kept not really answering it, just saying, there's growth opportunity, yada, yada, yada. And I finally said, so Rattler is still starting this week? And he said, yes. But then there was a couple of good follow-ups about, okay, at what point in this season do you think you would need to see Tyler Shuck? And Moore, I don't know if he didn't know the can of worms he was opening or he was just being honest. He said it's a week-to-week thing. So that cracked that door open. And I do understand why, because if this team is going to have a high draft pick, right now they're tied for 3rd, I think, or they're in the top 5. If they're going to go into the offseason with a high draft pick, you would assume it's a strong possibility they want to take a look at quarterback. They need to know exactly what they have. So eventually you have to take a look at Tyler Shuck, right? I mean, you're 1-6. What do you have to lose?
Yeah. By the way, if I just looked it up, Kat, while we were talking, the Jets at 0-7, and then the Saints among the 1-loss teams would be next. The Saints are the 2nd pick, right, and a long way to go, of course, 10 games. But the Saints would be, I don't know what the tiebreaker is, but they would be the lowest among the 1-loss teams. It looks like it might be their differential, like the point differential. Might be. Well, no, that can't be it. As I'm looking through this, whatever. Because the Titans are worse. But
in any event, they're top 5 right now.
Whatever. As it is in the standings right now, they would be 2nd by the Jets. So yes, they're absolutely trending toward a top 5 pick and possibly drafting their starting quarterback in the future, unless they find out what's going on with Tyler Shuck. Kat, I can't help but also wonder. I mean, you cover this team and have for a long time, and you're around the players and the coaches, and I can't help but wonder at what point being 1-6 or 1-7 or a long losing streak starts to wear on the team and start to hurt culture or vibe around the building. Do you sense any of that?
Not yet. And maybe in their minds they knew it was going to be a tough year. I mean, the thing is, teams will never admit that, but I think the guys that have been around a long time know, and it doesn't mean they like losing, but it means that they probably kind of know the score. And coming to this season, you look at the outside expectations, just look at the local media poll done by Jeff Duncan every year. Almost every single person picked them to have a losing season and at best win 5 or 6 games. So I think that maybe they understand that, and right now it doesn't feel like everyone's down. But I do think, I mean, you just keep losing week after week, especially games you consider close, and it does take its toll on you. It's tough. But I would guess that the turning point to the frustration is probably going to occur midway through the season, and we're getting close to that because they have the schedule to get lighter after the beginning of the season and how hard that was, but they've got some tough ones coming up, starting with the Bucs this week.
There is a little bit of Miami and the Jets and the Panthers on there as well, but look,
none of them are given.
No doubt. Like, we've seen the Panthers win some impressive games. Same,
Right.
same with Atlanta. Now, division, there's always the division's always squirrely and quirky because you know each other so well, and there's always those possibilities. But yes, I mean, it's Tampa at the Rams, at Carolina before your bye, and then you're home against Atlanta. So, yeah, it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. I don't know if you've given any thought to this at all, and it's okay if you haven't. Have you given a thought yet to what the ceiling and what the floor is for this team now, sitting at 1-6 with 10 games to go?
Record-wise,
Yeah.
I haven't reassessed my record, but I did pick them to win 5 games at the beginning of the season, and I have had thoughts if that is too high. They're just not they can't be the team that makes mistakes and still wins games. And against the Bears, you saw it. They have issues all over the field. So even against these bad teams that they might be playing later in the season, I think that, they're just not playing like a team that's going to close out these games. So what games do they win? I don't know. I do think with divisional games, like you said, they can often go either way. That's just the nature of it. So they'll probably pick up a couple there, but I don't know. I think it's going to be tough to find wins overall in the second half of the season. But I guess if you're looking at positives, I think there's a lot of, like I was saying earlier, there's a lot of rookies that have been getting playing time. And, you can kind of look at some of those rookies and say, okay, maybe there's hope for the future with some of these guys.
I'm not interested in positives, Kat. I just want to know. It's brutal right now.
But the record explanation wasn't very positive.
No.
I said 5 games, and now I'm saying that might have been too positive to start the season.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to think about ceiling and floors because I don't do math well. I went to LSU math. I mean, come on, we didn't learn math there.
You and I were both Manship alums, and math and science for me are brutal. Like, you want me to diagram a sentence, I'm your guy.
Exactly.
You want me to do long division, I'm screwed. So,
exactly.
But by the way,
calculator.
Of the 3, I would say most winnable games remaining, Miami, the Jets, and the Titans, 2 of those 3 are on the road. And the Saints have played like poo-poo on the road. So I picked them. I picked 5-11 at the start of this, or 5-12, excuse me, math, at the start of the season, like you did, and I think I overshot it, quite honestly.
Okay, but you mentioned the Titans is a winnable game, and I'm never the person that says a team should try to lose games, but that's in week 17. So when these 2 bad teams play each other into the season with potential draft picks on the line, do we look at 2 teams that are, fighting, like playing so just well enough so that they lose, like the Bengals and I think it was the Dolphins years ago when Burrow was on the line that year. Yeah, I was following that in real time. It was like, well, these teams are winning, and this game is franchise changing.
Look, it was, and
that one could be.
The next year, you remember you had Jacksonville and the Jets when Trevor Lawrence was the presumed number 1 overall pick, and the Jets slipped up and won a game over Jacksonville. Jacksonville got the number 1 pick, and the Jets ended up with Zach Wilson. So yes, week 17, high stakes when it comes to the bowels of the NFL. She's Kat Terrell, ESPN.com. Get her at @Kat_Terrell. Give her a follow there on Twitter. We appreciate it, Kat. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on, Matt, and I'll see you in a few weeks for the Manship School panel.
How about that? We can't do math, but they keep inviting us back to talk to people, to these blossoming young minds about their futures in the media business and why they should run the other way. That's what we'll tell them.
Exactly. I would never tell them that.
I don't either. Thanks, Kat. We'll see you.
Thanks.
All right,
Bye.
That's Kat Terrell. It's After Further Review. Brought to you by Parrish Construction Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. That's me, Terrio, Tilly, Joe, our whole staff over at Parrish Construction Roofing, commercial or residential, repairs, replacements. We do gutters, soft wash. You got some grime on your roof, looks ugly. You may not need a roof replacement. It may just be mildew on your roof. We can come soft wash it. Not only would that extend the life of the shingles, it'll beautify your roof, soft wash your whole home as well. We do it all over at Parrish Construction and Roofing. So go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. We'd love to give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. Do business with someone you know. Parish Construction and Roofing, parishbuilt.com. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Monday show is brought to you by Relief Windows. We'll knock out a quick break. Muse, Taylor, and I will give you our college football takeaways from this weekend. Otter's still ahead in about 15 minutes for Otterlocks. Tell us what we're betting on tonight. We got a ton to do, so don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Woke up this morning. Temps were in the 40s. Now, the high today was in the 80s, like 82 or something like that. But when I woke up this morning, it was 48 degrees outside. Now, my wife is an Eskimo, and she loves to freeze at night. So we're not cranking on the heater just yet, but we're close. Better do like we do. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. Get your preseason heater safety check. Think about what I just said, y'all. Preseason heater safety check. You hear about unfortunate stories every year during the winter months about fires and different things in homes, people trying to stay warm. Listen, your heater is a wonderful tool to keep you comfortable during the cold weather months, but you got to make sure you service that thing. And if you can't remember the last time you did it, the time is now. They'll come by, make sure it's clean, efficient, and safe to run. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
In South Louisiana, you can always count on good people coming together to help our children.
At Dreams Come True, we grant wishes for Louisiana children with life-threatening illnesses. But to do this, we need funds.
That's why we're trying to raise $100,000 for Dreams Come True by giving away the Blessed Children's School.
Make your backyard's dream come true while helping our kids.
Just go to dreampoolla.com and you can find out how your $25 donation might help win you a Duplessis pool.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Trust isn't given, it's earned by showing up, leading the way, and performing at your best when it matters most. Our Lady of the Lake sports medicine experts know what it takes to improve performance and build champions at every level. That's why LSU chose Our Lady of the Lake as its championship health partner, trusting Louisiana's best medical team to care for our state's best athletes. From championship athletes to everyday champions, trusted care starts here.
I trust the lake.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky.
After Further Review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding, and oh, we do shutters too.
All right, glad you're here with us. Cruising along. Get to Jimmy in about 10 minutes from right now for Otterlocks. They're posted at louisianasports.net. You can always get Otterlocks there for free, everything for free, over at louisianasports.net. You got double dip on Monday Night Football, and you got the Game 7 tonight in MLB playoffs. You want the bets? They're all there. They're live right now over at LouisianaSports.net. All righty. Let's do college football takeaways. Hit it.
Another week in the books. What did we learn about the landscape of college football?
Okay, there, Matthew Taylor Musso.
No, that's not it either.
Get us started.
Almost though. Actually, not really. Almost. I'll get us started though. Yes.
Almost.
No, that was a lie.
Matthew Swift Musso.
I don't know. I don't really know why I said almost. That's not it either.
Matthew Travis Musso.
Did we all collectively kind of just forget about Arizona State a little bit? I mean, they lost week 2 at Mississippi State. They rattled off 3 more. They had the embarrassing defeat at Utah without Sam Leavitt. He returns not 100%, and all of a sudden, they upset number 7 Texas Tech. They have 2 losses, but they're just the one in the Big 12. They're right there. They still have plenty in front of them, some landmines, but no more ranked teams. They're alive and well. They make it to the Big 12 championship for playoff berth.
Taylor.
I think Georgia Tech's going to go undefeated in the ACC. The path ahead of them, very easy. They took care of business against Duke. A lot of people thought that was a trip-up spot for them. No problem for the Yellow Jackets. You got Syracuse, they stink. You got North Carolina State, they stink. Boston College, Your toughest ACC game left is Pitt. You get them at home. Now you have Georgia at the end of the year. If you lose that, fine, you're still in the ACC championship. You beat Miami, Brent Key and the Yellow Jackets are college football playoff bound. Good season right now for the Yellow Jackets.
Is Indiana the best team in the country? Everybody thinks it's Ohio State.
Right.
Fernando Mendoza getting love as the number 1 pick in the draft. I would take Mendoza over Julius Sain at quarterback right now. And the fact that they went on the road at Oregon and out-physical the Ducks in Eugene tells me they could beat anybody, anywhere. I get all the love for Ohio State because of the logo. I would absolutely take Kurt Cignetti over the guy that Ohio State fans wanted to fire when they lost to a 500 Michigan team 13-10 at the end of last year. I think Indiana, I can't believe I'm saying that. I think Indiana's best team in the country. I just said those words.
You did. And you
those
believe
are words.
and you believe them.
Words
it's not just that you said it.
Yeah.
You actually believe it.
If Indiana and Ohio State played today, neutral field, I would pick Indiana to win the game.
Yeah.
I would.
USF, they're in the CFP driver's seat for the group of 5 right now. Plenty can change, but when you look at their schedule, I mean, look, they have a game at Memphis coming up in 2 weeks. They still have to play at Navy, but there's no Tulane. If they can get through that, even with 1 loss, beat a Tulane or something like that in the American Championship, they're going to be in the playoff. I know Florida fired their coach. That's still a good win for USF, though. Maybe the Memphis hype was overbought. We should have been on South Florida this whole time.
All the hype was around Texas Tech at the Big 12 because they spent big in the portal, and they've been great, but they slip up to Arizona State. BYU now in the driver's seat in the Big 12, still undefeated, will be in the top 10. They're right there. They got Iowa State, who's so banged up. They do play Texas Tech head-to-head, so that'll be a big one 2 weeks from now. But credit to Kalani Sitake. They lost to Jake Retzlaff right before the season. Teams didn't know what they were going to do. Their offense has been good behind true freshman quarterback Bear Bachmeier. Really good job so far by the Cougars.
Luke Fickell next to get fired. They play at Oregon this weekend. That's probably not going to go well. For what it's worth, the betting odds out there have Fickell even money to be the next coach fired. Mike Norvell follows, but the AD there at Florida State said they'll make the decision after the season. Fickell, this could be it after this weekend after they get embarrassed in Eugene.
I want to give some love to the Heisman race so far in 2025. Look, it's rare that the preseason favorite wins the award. But, I mean, the complete flip that you've seen in these Heisman, in the Heisman race since the preseason's been awesome theater. Now you're looking at Fernando Mendoza. You're looking at Ty Simpson, Diego Pavia as well.
Did you say theater?
Did you say theater?
The theater of the Heisman race. It's been great.
Theater, bro. Come on.
Yeah, say theater.
Okay, anyway, Jesus. Anyway, Julian Sainz in there, who was 20-1.
I said theater.
He was 20-1 before the season. I think it's been fantastic to see it just completely flip. And just halfway through the season, I mean, that's not done, man. We got a lot of entertaining stuff coming in the Heisman race.
It's been awesome. It's awesome theater.
Nobody wants to hear this, but right
Nailed it.
now, I think Alabama is the best team in the SEC. They have 4 wins right now over top 25 teams. Those top 25 teams outside of Alabama are combined 27-1. The one loss, Tennessee lost to Georgia, who Alabama also beat. The Crimson Tide are rolling right now.
4 top 10 teams lost this last week. Nobody's great. Everybody's vulnerable. Every week is going to be like that. That's why college football is great. It's way better than having like 3 superpowers that everybody knows are going to win. Makes it so much more fun. Okay, college football takeaways. There you have it. It's after further review. We are brought to you by First South Farm Credit. Thinking of buying land? Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. Firstsouthland.com. Maybe you live in New Orleans and you work in New Orleans, but you want to enjoy the rural lifestyle while you work in the city. Easy. Go to the office there in Tangipahoa Parish, First South Farm Credit. Buy land there, enjoy the rural lifestyle, commute into work, you work in the city, enjoy the rural lifestyle. Easy. Maybe in Baton Rouge, you want to buy that property up in St. Francisville or Clinton or whatever it may be. You want to buy that land to enjoy and explore that rural lifestyle, First South Farm Credit can help. Maybe as we get close to the end of the year, you need a tax benefit. Buying timber property could be a great investment. Talk to your CPA and then call First South Farm Credit. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. Go to firstsouthland.com. That's firstsouthland.com. First South Farm Credit. All right, y'all, it's after further review. We're not going to final break. Jimmy will be here for Otterlocks. We'll find out what we're betting on tonight. It's up at LouisianaSports.net as well. Don't you move. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows.
AFR.
You know, we are creeping through Q4 right now. And if you know, a lot of times in Q4, especially because you have the holidays near the end of the year, you tend to see a little bit of a dip toward the end of the year. Well, perhaps having the right people in your business can help you finish the year strong. If you need that permanent solution, you need Glow Resources. Check them out at glowresources.com. Start there, GLO, glowresources.com. They're local. Home base is right there in Baton Rouge on Perkins at Quail Oak, right near Pennington. Also in New Orleans. And that's the focus of their business, Baton Rouge, New Orleans. But at Glow Resources, they're complete employer solutions. They will help your business, no matter what industry, find permanent solutions with the right people to make you more efficient. It's glowresources.com. Need security services you can count on? With Veteran Security Services, you're always protected. Locally owned and proudly serving the Gulf Coast, they're not some big national firm chasing profits. They're neighbors protecting neighbors. From petrochemical plants and healthcare facilities to port and maritime operations, Veteran Security delivers reliable protection you can trust. Choose community. Choose confidence. Choose Veteran Security Services. Visit veteransecurityfirm.com.
Raising Cane's is our victory meal. Football fans are some of the most dedicated fans in sports. It's a fundamental quality we share, and that fuels every single order of our hand-battered chicken fingers. Wherever there's football, there's Raising Cane's. One love. Let's go.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. And oh, we do shutters too.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Windows door siding, they do shutters as well. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. The baseball team, the national champions, were at the White House today, and there was a moment where President Trump singled out and mentioned Josh Pearson and Stephen Milam. And Brian Holland, by the way, tweeted the video if you want to check it out. And after he shakes their hands, like, oh, they have strong hands. Almost broke my hand. Anyway, Josh Pearson quote tweeted and said, one of the coolest moments of my life. It's one of the reasons why some people may think the teams going to the White House it might be unnecessary or it's ceremonial or whatever. That's one of the reasons I think it's awesome. How many Americans get to go to the White House and meet the president? I don't care who you vote for. I don't care who you vote for. You're red or blue. It doesn't matter. It's like, it's the White House. It's a sitting president. That's awesome. And Josh Pearson getting to meet the president, shake his hand, and be mentioned by the president, he said it's one of the coolest moments of my life, something to remember forever. That's why you should do it. That's why you should always go. That's why you should always do it. It's a very cool thing. Awesome for the baseball Tigers, the national champs, get to go experience that today. And hopefully they get to do it again next year. Hey, we'll get to Otterlocks here in just a second. We are brought to you by Supper Club. Remember, Supper Club's closed. They're closed Sunday, Monday, but they're open Tuesday through Saturday. Home game this weekend with Texas A&M coming in. I know, disappointment coming off a loss, but my goodness, by the time we get to this weekend, top 5 opponent, the undefeated Aggies, you better believe this weekend is going to be lit around Baton Rouge. No better place to go celebrate than Supper Club. Dinner Friday night, maybe Saturday, you want a place to watch the game. Listen, it's not a sports bar, but they have a 100-inch projector there in the bar lounge area. You sit at one of the 14 bar stools or 7 bar tables. You can see the TV. Instead of eating some greasy bar food, just go have a delicious steak and watch the game. You can do it at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com. Supper Club. All right, Otterlocks, here we go.
Otterlocks.
All right, time to win some money.
Presented by Total Maintenance AC Repair. Same-day service means you will never sleep hot. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
I think it's safe to say that I won the bet.
Otter, how are you?
Good, Matt. How about you?
It'd be better if LSU and the Saints didn't stink.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well,
anyway.
2 ranked teams on the road, 2 top 10 teams now. On the road by 1 score.
I get it.
Yeah.
Try telling that to the fans.
Oh, no. Everybody, when they raise their voice, Vanderbilt and Indiana win games, people lose their jobs. Period.
I know.
Yeah.
All right, what are we looking at tonight?
Let's try with some money
Yeah,
tonight.
let's do
Detroit and Tampa Bay. I mean, we talk about Baker Mayfield and doing it with his wide receiving core of misfits. Well, we get upgraded tonight. Mike Evans is going to play tonight. Ibuka from the rookie, who leads all the rookies for Rookie of the Year from Ohio State. He is officially active for tonight's game. Lions, we know about their already banged up secondary. Branch is out for this one after the suspension against Kansas City. There's going to be a lot of points in this one, 54.5. The biggest total yesterday went flying over Washington and Dallas. Like Tampa Bay in the points and the over in this one, +6 and over 54.5 available right now at DraftKings. Late night game tonight. By the way, Randy McKay has Tampa Bay in that game as well. Seahawks and the Texans. I think they finally get it right at home. Texans are number one in scoring defense. It's been really good, but I think Seattle, this whole thing of, just being so good on the road and not so good at home, it flips tonight. We're taking Seattle -3. Oh, by the way, Randy McKay has the Seattle Seahawks as well. He's 0-2 this week with 2 games going tonight. Speaking of flipping the script with the home field advantage, going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays tonight in Game 7. Been on Seattle most of the way on this one, but kind of seeing some of that home field advantage finally pay off. The first 4 games were won by the visitor, the last 2 at home. I'm going to take Toronto minus a small number in Game 7 tonight. Hopefully, you guys still have that plus 550 ticket on the Los Angeles Dodgers that we gave out. So they'll be a heavy favorite no matter who comes out. Although this is, the pitching, fatigue, it's not going to be a factor. They got plenty of days off before they start Game 1 on Friday.
All right. Blue Jays at home, Bucks Lions over, and Seahawks laying a field goal. Where are you tomorrow, Otter?
Mike Anderson Seafood on Lee, just off of Nichols, at home of the Burnside salad.
The Chime Street salad, the Chapatula salad. What are we going to? The River Road salad.
It's good.
All right, Otter. Thanks. Good luck tonight.
All right. Good luck.
All right. We'll see you. That'll do it for us. Muse, Taylor, appreciate y'all. You miss anything? AFR On Demand, presented by Breck Golf, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. All right, I'll do it for us. Enjoy the football tonight. Hopefully it'll be a happier day tomorrow. See you tomorrow at 3.
After further review,
I got to give a huge hat tip and sincere thanks to our great partners at Our Lady of the Lake, championship health partner of LSU Athletics. Of course, by now you know how interwoven LSU and Our Lady of the Lake are. Not only for their championship health partnership and how the lake provides championship level health care to athletes, students, and everyday champions like you and me. But obviously our partnership with Our Lady of the Lake, for example, they sponsored our trip to Nashville. Our ability to do things like that are because of our great partners, and our partnership with the lake has been incredible. So we encourage you, for whatever degree of health care you may need, heart health, if it's stroke, if it's cancer, if it's pediatrics, if it's orthopedics, championship health partner of LSU Athletics is Our Lady of the Lake. Learn more at ololrmc.com/LSU. Our Lady of the Lake and LSU. Together, we roar.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Every winner knows a great play starts with a solid game plan and the right team by your side. At Sunshine, we're here to keep your operation running strong. From tractors to harvesters, we've got the John Deere equipment you need to tackle every job with confidence. Because when the work's done right, there's more time for the things that matter, like cheering on your favorite team. Make Sunshine Quality Solutions part of your playbook this season and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American